You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to talk to Howard.
Yes, you're on the air. Why when I say you're on the air, no one believes me? Why would I say you're on the air?
I'm not on the air yet.
Oh, you bastard. You skeevy bastard.
I don't know how many times they have to hear it happen.
That rat-jap bastard.
I'm not on the air yet.
Because they sit and listen to their radios and still have not figured out that we're on a delay.
And they got to be on the air before they start talking. They got something so important to say.
Yeah, well, that's when I hang up. Miami, you're on the air. Welcome to Miami Beach, Florida. What's the temperature there today?
It's raining.
Good morning.
It's raining in Florida?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I was there before I came.
What, did you astral project? How did you know it was raining in Florida?
Because they have a big storm down there, Tropical Storm Gordon.
Oh, Gordon.
Pouring rain.
Oh, well.
Unbelievable.
It's very warm here. I don't know what's going on today. Every morning I wake up here in New York, it's another surprise. That's why I get sick all the time. Every morning I walk out with my winter coat at 4 o'clock in the morning because it's freezing at 4 o'clock in the morning. This morning it's like summertime. I'm running around in a winter coat. And then I can't go back into the house and wake everyone up and start shuffling through the... So I just walk out of my winter coat.
Yeah, you keep it all day.
I keep it all... I walk around. Sometimes it's 70 degrees here. I'm walking around in a winter coat.
Don't you feel like a bag person sometimes? You walk out at summertime and you've got a big heavy coat on.
And I go nuts, too, because I got to carry in 30 bags back and forth. I've always got my lunch. I've got my work bag. I've got tapes. I've got all kinds of stuff. I walk around like a bag lady. And then I walk out of here. I've got 47 bags.
And you've got the wrong coat on.
Yeah, and 3 interns have to carry down all the bags with me. And then I got to get the bags into the house. It's a whole ordeal every day. Why can't I just go to work walking free?
Why isn't life simple?
Yeah. So I set up a thing. Just listen, I'm telling you about my life. Do other people go to work like this where they have 17 bags?
I see people walking down the street. They don't seem so encumbered.
I know. They all have hands free. I spoke with Judith Regan the other day. She's walking down, I guess it was 5th Avenue on a cellular phone talking to me. I don't have a hand free to talk on the phone.
You need a headset.
I need a microchip in my head. Just her and that beautiful ass and that microphone she talks into. So, I don't know. It drives me crazy. So, I got really annoyed that I have to carry all these bags to work.
Yeah.
Because I used to have Gange. I hired Gange
to carry
come to my house, pack everything up. He had a car every day. He drove in, and he would carry bags in. That's what was useful about him. So now he decides he don't want to drive in anymore. So, okay, he hasn't been driving in, so I carry the bags back and forth. So finally...
You got the bags back.
So finally, I say to him last week, hey, fatso, I tell you what I'll do. Once a week, you'll drive into work. I'll pay for your parking. Whatever you need.
And you'll tow.
So he says to me, what about my tolls and what about the wear and tear on my car?
Oh, no.
I said, you know what? I don't want your help anymore. I don't need... Do you believe this? I said, what are you, a corporation?
Does he say that when he goes out on a date? What about the wear and tear on my car?
This is a guy, nobody's ever offered him a job in the world. I felt bad for him. I got him a camera job with the E-Network. I asked him to do me a favor. I said, here, I'll pay for your parking. What do you... I don't want him to shell out of his pocket. I think I'm being reasonable. Where's the wear and tear on my car? Wear and tear on your... Why didn't you tell your dad about the wear and tear on your car?
He's amazing.
What a little nitwit.
So he stopped driving, really, because he didn't like the wear and tear on his car?
No, I told Laura, my assistant, that Gange is out of favor with me.
Uh-huh.
That Gange no longer... I said, I don't want his help. I don't want him... Don't take back the offer. And plus, I pay him, if he drives in or something. I'll give him for an hour or something, another hour's fee or something, whatever it is. And I will not...
Where has this whole conversation been taking place?
Oh, where is it? You don't know where it took place?
No.
It didn't take place at my house?
I don't remember this conversation.
Laura didn't sit down with you and say, we want you to drive in once a week?
Yeah,
with your car?
I said, I'll think about it. And I
You're going to get back to me on it? I don't want your help. I don't want your help. I don't need it. I don't want it.
The reason I'm not driving in...
Mr. Eager Beaver.
Mr. Eager Beaver. I gave him a job with E, so with work the stupid camera. He thinks he's a cameraman now.
Yeah.
He thinks he's a professional television personality.
Can I defend myself?
Where's that 10-year-old? I'd love to give him the job.
I hear him
There's a lot of reasons I don't drive in, and that's why
You make Jackie look like a team player.
Howard.
Yeah.
We have a tornado watch here.
Good. Okay, we're getting constant weather bulletins from Miami while I yell at
Stay right there and
Gange.
tell us everything that's happening.
Yeah. What happened now?
I saw Fred's movie yesterday.
Yeah.
unbelievable. It's a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
It's a thriller, whodunit comedy.
Is it Melrose Larry Green?
Has to be. Oh, it is.
Don't worry. Don't disconnect me, Howard. Don't disconnect me.
Melrose, I'm in the middle of yelling at... and Melrose, you're a little punk. I am not your friend anymore.
Why?
You're off the show. You're not in my books anymore. You're not going to be in the movie. You're not anything. I had a part even written in for you in the movie.
What happened?
Oh, you know what happened. I see the letters you write.
That letter was from the heart.
Don't write letters if you don't mean it. And don't go around holding up signs about Woody Allen and telling people that you're no longer my friend.
I used your name in that interview. They didn't play that part.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Howard.
What?
Don't be mad at me. I sat next to Richie. I sat next to Cousin Richie at the movie.
Well, I don't know.
Can I say hi to the ice sculptress?
Melrose?
Howard, let's talk it out.
There's nothing to talk about.
Oh, Howard.
You're my ex-friend.
I got a tornado watch here, Howard.
He's going to cry.
Howard, no, listen, Howard, you're great.
There's already enough water there.
Enough about me. Fred's movie is great. It's playing again today.
All right, go see it again.
It's at 2 o'clock at the Coral Ridge AMC, and John Randolph was there.
Now I know you're mental. You're sitting and watching Fred's movie over and over.
It's a great movie.
He started giving it boffo reviews. I knew it was Melrose.
You know what's funny, Robin? I said, boy, maybe Fred's in a good movie. And all of a sudden when you said Melrose, I went, oh, of course, Melrose is kissing Fred's ass.
Howard, don't cut me off.
I saw the movie. It didn't deserve these kind of kudos. So I had to figure something was behind it.
Meanwhile, the whole theater emptied out. Melrose was sitting there.
Howard, about my note?
I read it. Don't think I don't read your ramblings of a mental patient.
No, can I just say one thing, Howard? When you get on the Howard Stern show, it's the biggest ego trip in the world.
All right, Melrose, I have to go now.
All right, and thank you, Howard.
What?
You know, there's enough nuts in New York that everybody's used to them, and cab drivers never talk to anybody about anything. And me and John got in a cab the other day, and Melrose was on the corner in the cab. He turned to us and said, he's crazy.
Yeah. You are crazy.
I'm not crazy.
No, he's out in front of, Live at 5 now. They have they use the same set as the Today Show.
Yeah.
So Melrose was out there the other day. Dan told me. Melrose was out there the other day with signs about Woody Allen. So Dan says, hey, what are you doing with signs about Woody Allen? Oh, Howard's a bastard. He doesn't let me on.
I didn't say that. Howard, I was going to buy my Howard Stern for Governor buttons, and I saw Woody Allen making a movie. I was walking to 9th Avenue.
So anyway, so he hangs up signs about Woody Allen in the window of Live at 5. And I
was at the Plaza Hotel. Mickey Rourke trashed the room, and they wanted people's opinions.
Right.
And I had a sign saying I met Woody Allen, and I told them I was buying.
What is
Howard.
it, Baba Booey?
No, you can't. You just can't talk to Larry because I told him like in the mornings he was driving all of us nuts. So I asked him, not to hang around so much and bother us. So then he would wait for me on the corner.
Morning, Gary.
And he would be like, "Okay, I'm not going to bother you. I'm not going to follow you." While he was bothering you and following you.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I got to go now. I'll be down the block if you need me, but I'm right down the block if you need me. I won't be here.
Well, then I even told when I come in the morning, Melrose would be out front inviting people over to come meet with me.
Is that
that's
right?
a lie.
And I said to Melrose, hey, can you do me a favor? Ronnie even spoke to me. He says, hey, Melrose, do us a favor, man.
My good
when
friend
Howard's
Ronnie.
coming in, can you just, mellow out a little bit and not attract a crowd at 4 in the morning?
We asked him to move a half a block, and he wigged out.
Yeah, he wigged out. You're a mental patient.
You guys are...
You want to
this
be
is
on
all shit.
Prozac.
I'm not on Prozac.
You should be.
I don't even know what... I never took any drugs in my entire life.
All right, I got to go.
All right, thank you for the call, Howard.
Thank you,
You
for...
called us.
Yeah.
The movie is...
Drooling loser. Anyway, Gange, thanks for your help, but I don't need it. And you know what?
No,
Keep
I wanna
deluding
hear.
yourself.
He decided he would think about this. You asked him to do something. He said, I'll think about it?
Yeah. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. That's like when I thought about it when he wanted a job with E.
Right. When he started complaining and whining that he wasn't getting anywhere.
Like I thought about it when he came to me and he said, I'm an intern. I don't want to go work for my father. Is there any work I could do for you at your house? Like I had to think about it. But I don't want your help. I'm telling you, if you said to me now, Howard, I want to drive in once a week, I still wouldn't. You do it with a bad attitude. Your attitude is getting worse and worse. I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
I don't remember.
Jackie just beamed him.
I'm watching you.
All right, you're watching me. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to say. I don't remember this conversation. First of all,
Laura didn't talk to you about this.
She asked me, and I said I'd think about it.
You're thinking about it.
Yeah. Why?
What are your thoughts?
What are you thinking about? What is there to think about? Either you're into it or you're not.
I think about driving in. I don't want
you driving in.
Didn't want to drive in.
what?
Stop using my car to drive in.
I know. I don't want you to drive in. I don't want your help.
Hey, Gange, he wasn't talking about everything.
I don't want his help.
But I don't know. It's
So how much would you charge me for wear and tear on your car? What do you think? How much money would it cost me? What's the wear and tear? Get out of here.
Listen,
get out now before I take your head and throw it through a window.
Hey, listen, I don't make that much money. I make very little money.
I gotta hear what's in his head.
You shouldn't be making any money.
Why? Why?
I'm paying you now for everything you used to do for free. I could have still had you do it for free.
So get somebody for free to do it.
Okay.
Get somebody for free.
You're gone.
Get somebody for free.
You're resigning? Are you resigning?
Let's see you get somebody for free.
All right.
We can't keep an intern here for a week to do anything.
Let me get somebody for free to work that camera and do some work at my house? Okay.
Yeah.
You're on.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see how long they last. I want to see how long they last.
You're fired.
Okay, good.
You can leave now. You can pack up and there won't be any wear and tear on your car or anything.
Good.
How do you keep hiring people who scream at you?
I don't know. I get idiots.
He starts screaming.
I know. It's unbelievable. He's an intern. And I try to rustle him up some money.
And they all threaten you.
Basil, will you do it? You'll do it for free? Well, there it is. I got somebody for free.
Oh, no.
What? None of the microphones work.
You got 2 for free. Chris, the other intern, said...
Will you be happy to do it?
He'd be crazy.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, but you want
Okay, then you have the job. Danger, you're no longer needed.
Okay.
I have 2 gentlemen who can fill your spot. You're no longer needed. Goodbye.
All right.
Go home and good luck in your television career.
Okay. Look who's going to be at your house.
Yeah, Basil. I like Basil.
I got a car.
Do you have a car?
And you'll drive it, huh?
Okay, fine.
He's got a truck.
You got a truck?
I got a 94 Nissan Pathfinder.
So you can pack a lot of stuff into that truck.
Firewood.
Go see if you can find somebody who threatens me.
Howard,
By the way, I'll pay you, too. You don't have to do it for free.
Oh, man.
We'll pay you. I got a great salary for you out of E, and I'll supplement you with dollars.
This semester.
Then you're set. And good, Gange, I'm sure now that you've had so much experience, you're in demand. Yeah. All right, Basil, the job is yours. Gange, you're done. You're done with me.
Gange really doesn't realize how out of control. I can understand gas, maybe tolls, but wear and tear on the car?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you evaluate that?
I don't know.
He's going to think about it.
Maybe I should buy him a company car.
I said, we'll put a little extra in because I have to put up for oil changes. I don't have any free money, Gary. Where the hell?
You're coming in, but you're coming in for work.
I'm not taking.
Gange, you're coming in for
your
work.
father's going to give you money. My father's not going to give me jack.
Let me ask you a question.
But
you're
you're
going to change your oil when you get to a certain point anyway, right? Do you think that this little 1 week...
It makes it more frequent.
One day a week, Gange.
It's a 15-mile drive. You sound like an idiot. Hey, Gary, let me ask you something.
No,
he's got to get into work anyway, right?
By train.
Granted.
By train,
granted, he can come in by train. But he's still got to get into work. So I'm saying to him, hey, drive your car in 1 day a week. I'll take care of the parking. Which is a convenience. No, you weren't. Which will take care of... You didn't have the right answer. Which will take care of, it's a nicer time to drive into work than to take the train.
I'll tell you right now, the trade-off is, you got to admit that taking the train is a big pain in the ass, and that driving's a lot easier. So there's your trade-off right there for your wear and tear.
So I'm making his commute a little easier. I'm saying, hey, once a week, take the car in. If you have anything to bring in, or if my stuff to bring in, you bring in your stuff.
You get to
so
sleep,
then he hits me with
a little later because you don't have to run for the train.
Then he hits me with wear and tear, right?
He's amazing.
I'm sorry?
It's a dream job.
Of course it is.
I come in here every day. All I said
you come in for free.
I come in for free. I said, boy, the only thing I would want is someone to pay the tolls. And you even do that.
Right.
That's it. That's what you need.
Listen.
No, he doesn't want to pay the tolls. You just heard him say it. He wants to pay for parking. That's it. That's all you need.
You want the tolls? I'll give you the tolls. I pay.
$3.
You got to understand something. I also pay him for the time it takes him to get back and forth.
No,
you pay travel time?
Of course. He charges me every time he gets in the car. When you're at my house and I say to you, hey, Gange, can you bring something over somewhere? You say, okay, and you charge me for the hour. I don't mind that he charges me for it.
You're on the clock.
He's on the clock.
No, that was never discussed. I never said that I was going to be charging for time to...
Gange, let me tell you something. You came to me when you had nothing.
Right.
Let's face it, you had worked for free for 3 years.
Right.
I felt bad for you. I felt bad for you.
Loyally,
I dreamt up a little something for you to do at the house. I could get somebody else to do that at the house. I dreamt up something for you. Then I felt bad for you because you kept whining you can't get a job in radio because you don't have a voice.
Right.
And then you kept whining.
I wasn't whining.
Then you kept whining. You're whining every day.
You mistake whining for asking for advice.
Could I ask? Oh, whining isn't advice. You were begging me, and then he goes, "What can I do?" So then I call up the program director at WRNW in Westchester, the station I started. I said, "Hey, listen, can you do this guy a favor? He's very loyal. Look, I'm gonna be straight with you.
Dog, yeah.
He's like a dog. He'll show up." I said, "If you got even an overnight slot that nobody wants, take a listen to his tape." And look, he got rejected. Okay, from a $4 an hour job. It was a $4 an hour job. He rejected.
Yeah, a job anybody can get.
A job that Jackie has no voice left if he could get that job. All right? Because you guys can stay in here, tell him. Don't leave. Bring him back to reality. He's the same as you, except he gets paid because I feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's just the type of job that you might think it's beneath you. And I don't know, working a camera might have done that to you, but for guys like me and Basil, you know,
and you're not that second. And Chris and Basil are not that far removed from you, Gange. Gange, smack yourself 2 times right now on camera. Just smack yourself as hard as you can with your own hand. There you go. That's it. Hand that camera to Basil. Today you work the camera. Tomorrow you work the camera, Chris. That's your treat. You guys work the camera.
Why do you keep throwing jobs away, Gange?
Because he's a dope. I'm the only one offering him jobs.
In broadcasting, he's done everything he can to keep you in broadcasting.
So Robin,
and you keep throwing the jobs back at him.
So Robin, listen to this. So then he says to me, he's at my house, he's whining, he can't get into. He decides, okay, I'm not for radio because he got rejected from one job.
Okay.
So he says to me, I'm in TV now. I go, oh, you're in TV? When did you make the switch? I said, you should have done an internship in TV. Why'd you waste all this time in radio? I wasn't thinking. So I go, okay.
At least he knows.
I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you, Gange. Because you wasted all that time volunteering here for 3 years for a career that you have no interest in now.
Yeah.
I'm going to set you up. I'm going to talk to Fran Shea, the E-Network. I'm going to ask if there's some things around, because I like you.
So now he's got a paid internship.
So listen to this. I call up Fran. Fran's like, he seems like a nice guy. What does he do? I said, he does nothing. I said, where's a job that we could pay him for doing nothing? She says, the only job I can think of is, if you know how when you hold your camera and you take pictures of your kids? I go, yeah. I got a job like that for him. Because in the hall, we roam with a camera.
Right.
I said, I think he can do that. She goes, do you think he can operate a camera? I said, I don't know. I said, is it a professional camera? She goes, no, like the thing you work at home. I said, I guess he could learn that. Radio's down, TV down. I guess movies are next for you, huh? He's Spielberg.
Gange.
You know, TV didn't work out. I'm thinking of going into film work.
He's myself for my Oscar.
So I said to myself, okay, I'm a good guy. I said, I'm really not interested in him being in TV, but if the guy wants it so bad, I'll get it for him. I get him the job. But I said, hey, also work at my house. Next thing I know, he's not driving in anymore. He's acting with a bad attitude because
he doesn't want to work at the house.
Well, now he's got the job in television.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm paying him. The job in television pays a good salary, but it doesn't pay him enough that he could live. I say, here, you come out to my house, I'll pay you some more money. Help me out. I got phones ringing. I got a lot of things going on. Okay. Where's this guy's?
What do you want?
So then I say to him, hey, you know what? I got all these packages and stuff. Drive in once a week, and I'll pay for parking. What about wear and tear on my car and tolls? Okay. What do I got to pay for that? I don't even mind if he says that. He says, I'll do it. Then he says, what about wear and tear on my car? What about tolls? And I'll think about it for a week.
Yeah. I don't want to think about it for a week. The weekend.
I haven't heard about it.
Tell me about it.
But what's the
Sorry, Basil. I should have approached you or Chris first.
What is to think about? I still don't understand what is the big thought process he has to go through.
I don't know what he's thinking. What do you think? Why do you need time to think when I ask you to do something? What are you thinking about? What is it? Why? Is it a big life decision for you?
Sure. I don't know. I just don't like to rush into decisions. I want a little time to think.
Gange.
Think about. I can see if it was marriage. I can't see if it's. He needs time to think. It's a job.
And not only that, you're trying to impress your boss. You know this guy's going to go places. He could take you with him if he likes you.
He's gone as far as he's going with me.
But that's why.
That's
because
exactly
you keep
why.
saying no, and I got to think about it.
I got to start developing one of the other guys.
I never say no.
I got to develop Basil or Chris or Cedric Vick.
I've done so much over the years. You're so
Ralph, I'll tell you something. You know who you could learn from, Gange? I'll tell you who you could learn from. Ralph. I'll tell you why. Everyone goofs on Ralph in this now. I'll tell you why I rely on Ralph and why he works on every one of my projects. I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to me, the guy thinks about me 24 hours a day. Listen, the only guy Ralph really works for, Ralph gets a couple of jobs once in a while. I don't know how, but he basically, he works for me full time. He does makeup for me on the TV. If I do a Letterman shot, he buys the clothes all year round. And he is I'll call up Ralph. I'll go, Ralph, I got a problem. I got to get a gift for someone by tomorrow. Can you pick up so-and-so? No problem. I've never heard the guy say he's got a problem. Go ahead. Talk to him.
Go ahead, Gange.
Did I buy your gift for Gilbert Gottfried when you asked me to?
Gange, that's not the question.
I ran out and bought.
That's not the question. You did one thing.
No,
Wait. Example,
Ralph.
and I just proved that I did the same exact thing.
No, I'm giving you one. I'm saying that it doesn't matter. If I said to Ralph, I need you to drive over to my house right now, he gets in that disgusting Jeep of his, and he drives over in 2 seconds. It doesn't matter. No, Ralph, talk to him.
Let me prove that one wrong.
No, Gange.
You needed to send me to your house about 2 weeks ago for something.
Right.
I grabbed it and took off, hightailed it out of here. I was there in plenty of time.
Of course. So when I say to you, drive in and take some packages
of things that I don't do, but I do.
But you didn't do this.
What the point is these little things. You don't say, "How am I getting paid by the 19 cents a mile or whatever?" Wear and tear. It's investments in your future. You're not thinking like that.
When you're there, you know what? The next thing that I had to do, I go, you know what? Hey, Gange, he was there. He got the car. Hey, you know what?
You give him something else?
I've got a big project brewing right now. Big. It's so big that it's gonna blow you away, even my princess away.
I'll be blown away.
You'll be blown away. I have projects brewing all the time.
Dumb,
and you're out of it. Ralph is on it. Chris is on it. Basil's going to be on it. I'll tell you who else. Everyone but Jackie and you. All right?
Let me just sum it up for him.
All right, there you go.
I got to sum it up for Gange. Gange, you are dumb. You don't know anything.
Even Jackie would tell you.
You don't have to see.
You know, Jackie's a big shot now. He's making a couple of bucks. But even in the beginning, Jackie had a good attitude. You got to have a good attitude.
And you don't. The operative word is yes.
Right.
Yes, boss.
Without question. I mean, don't you think if you prove yourself valuable in some way, he's going to find something else for you to do and something else? And, I didn't think that my job would end up as extensive as it is now. And is there one time when I said no to something?
That's how your job ended up extensive.
Yeah.
Even if he calls Ralph and says,
make
me a tape of these records I like, Ralph does it.
Do it.
No. I'll tell you what Ralph does. Ralph calls me and says, listen, Ralph calls me and says, I'm listening to some music now I think you would like. I'm going to go out and buy the CD for you. I'm not asking you to do that. Ralph's a little sick. But Ralph invents himself.
Yeah.
He sits and tapes Joe. This is a guy. Ralph said to me, boss, your nasal hairs are long. I'm going to cut them. And as bad as job as that is, now listen, there's nobody here who wants to do that job.
And you're complaining about driving in once a week.
I'm telling you, and Ralph stands there and cuts the hair out of my nose.
That's a little scary.
That's not easy.
But let me tell you something.
What?
I need him now to do that.
But
He's
that's what
invaluable.
I'm saying. He found the best way to do it.
Yeah.
He experimented.
Right.
You create a position for yourself.
Even Jackie dragged his complaining ass in here for free for 3 years. Don't think
Didn't
that was
ever ask for wear and tear on the car. He asked for parking.
He did, and no one gave it to him. Remember? No one would give you parking. And he's a little more valuable than you.
Thank you.
You're hallucinating.
You have the wrong attitude about everything, and it's because of your privileged upbringing.
Yeah. He's had it too easy, and now
He's never worked.
He expects everything.
He thinks he's going to run around with that camera, and they're either going to recognize, give him $100,000 a year to go out and shoot auteur.
You should hear him sit there and talk about how, he can't devote enough time to it because he's got to get out to your place because
my place is the only thing he's got to do.
on him, and you're just addicted to him somehow, and you can't live without him now.
Gange, do you want me to prove to you I can live without you? Let me ask you something.
Gange, do you live on Long Island?
Yes.
How close do you live to Howard?
Get the microphone on him.
20 minutes.
We have one microphone in here. That's another thing that drives me nuts. That Tom Chiazzano should go through here early in the morning and check every piece of equipment.
This one doesn't work?
What?
Does this one work?
Talk into it.
Does this one work?
No, that one don't work either. Here, try it now.
Is it working? No.
Still no.
There it goes.
Right,
there it
right.
goes. No hurry, Scott.
Yeah, Scott just stands back there. No hurry.
Here's another one.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know.
So my point is, he's right by your house. I mean, you could be doing a lot of things for him. He's 20 minutes from you. You can make yourself invaluable. You need something, you run over there and do it.
Gange's very lazy.
You're not taking into account how lazy he is.
And it's not like you have like an old car that's going to fall apart and you got to get paid for it.
He's got a brand new car his father just bought him.
It's like that party his parents threw for him was his retirement party.
You're right.
Gange graduated at Delphi College, and his parents threw him a $5,000 or $6,000 party, like a wedding.
More than that.
Yeah, but we didn't know it was a retirement party. What is it?
Now the mic's working.
You know who's getting who's really burning up over this whole thing?
Who?
Really sitting in there doing a slow burn?
Grillo.
You know why?
I bet.
Because I'll tell you exactly why. He goes. I think Gange's a nice guy and everything. He goes, but this really irritates me because Gange's getting all the opportunities he doesn't even get a chance to get.
Well, you want to know something? Gorilla's another one who really shouldn't open his mouth because...
He can't even get lunch.
I know. Not only can't he get lunch, but I got to tell you something. I had Grillo come out to my house and help me. Don't block that camera.
How long ago?
It was during the book. I don't know. The kid was a nightmare. Oh. He could barely make it out there. There was always a problem. I mean, you know, he wanted to deal with it. So he would have had a lot more opportunities, but he I don't know, he's a psycho. There was always a problem.
Too much help,
right? Wasn't there, Gange? Wasn't there always a problem?
You happened to catch me in the middle of midterms.
Oh, hey, what do you want from me? Opportunity knocks. What do you want?
But yeah, every time I did something like that, it was like, well, school's first. Take care of that. So okay, I got finals and stuff and reports to take care of. I got to do a report. I got to stay in the library.
What do you want from me? I tried to use you. It was impossible. We had to throw you out of there. I tried.
But I did the work that was supposed to be done.
When you got there.
Right.
She can't even get me steamed rice. This has been going on for 3 days. I send this kid out. I said, Gorilla, I got to find something for you to do, right? So I said, Gorilla, you're in charge of my lunch. Now, here's what I'm going to... I mean, I know people listen to say, boy, Howard, you're awfully pampered. But let me tell you something. We have a lot of different projects going on, and really time is of the essence. I got a lot of things to juggle. So I say, okay, how do you get... I don't want to even waste time eating. I like to eat right while I'm working. I say, Gorilla, here's what I need you to do. Every day, all you got to do is find a steamed piece of chicken, steamed rice, and steamed broccoli. If you do that, you will be invaluable to me. I don't want you to do anything. And keep your hair out of it. That's all I want you to do.
I would not. I did, for one thing, I got you that food for a month, okay? It's not my fault that the Chinese people that you got it from left some type of hair in it. That's not my fault.
I'm not blaming you.
Okay, fine.
So
now I have to go.
Now he has to go to a deli and find rice that is steamed. In other words, no butter, no oil. I want everything plain. No salt. So now he's been negotiating with the... You told them, but they don't understand you.
So that's not my...
How much you want to bet if I go down there, I could explain it to you?
I got a great story. I said no. I said nothing. I said I don't want no grease or anything. Just plain rice.
Don't want no grease. Don't want no grease.
No hair. No bother. That's not my fault. It's a new person. You don't want the Chinese food anymore.
What?
So anyway, some business must have called here yesterday and volunteered, said, hey, we'll cook Howard's food, we'll deliver it and stuff. So Gorilla calls them back. Mm-hmm. And every other word out of his mouth was the F word. And he's talking to, it's a new...
Yeah, I know.
No.
He can't articulate himself.
He's going, the F in other place didn't do the F in this. I was pissed. The guy...
I don't want you ordering food from listeners.
Listen,
I don't want that. I know where I want you to get the food. I will send Gary down there, who will now be in charge of my food.
But you understand...
You're off.
I can't help if he puts butter in the rice.
It's the Peter principle. You rose...
Can't you check?
Watch Gary
check
get it done.
We're gonna
watch
I would gladly sit there and watch him cook it.
Excuse me. Ralph, explain to him how to get it done. Here, listen to Ralph, and I'll show you why Ralph is valuable. I don't care what...
If it was up to me to do it, when he got it, I would open it up and check it and make sure it's right before you plop it down.
You would make it, check it, if it's right.
Do you want me opening up your food and breathing all over it?
No, but you can stand there while the guy prepares it. Let me see the rice. All you have to do all day to please me. There's one thing you have to do to please me. Excuse me 1 second.
I got to tell him.
Excuse me.
He did it wrong. One day he actually ordered the exact same thing, which was perfect.
Right.
And he opened it up, and he started eating it.
And I stopped right away.
Right.
And he gave it to you.
Right. He knew it was wrong, and he gave it to me.
I stopped right away, and I was eating it. I said, "This isn't what you want." And I went back, and I came back to the office and said, "You don't like this, right?"
No.
You said,
It tastes good. Let me tell you something. I was already eating. I'm like a wolf when I get off there. I got to eat stuff that I've talked for 5 hours straight. At that point, it's the wrong time to ask me.
I took 2 bites and I realized it wasn't.
So go back down and get a new one.
I would gladly do that. You were already eating it. You said this is too delicious.
Tell him how to do it, Ralph. Explain it to him again. Tell him how to do it. Explain it to him. Go to Ralph for advice. You'll be surprised. Ralph can help you. Ralph knows how to serve.
I've tried to actually a couple of times. I've recommended what he do.
But Gorilla is in big trouble because listen, I narrowed it down to one thing. Gorilla has to pick up lunch.
He can't even do that.
He can't get. So what am I going to use him for?
He wanted another place.
What?
It took a while to find a Chinese place that made it that early and that did what you wanted.
Gorilla.
Explain to him.
Listen to me. When your boss has a problem, you want to make sure that you fix it.
Exactly.
Not that you spend 5 weeks fixing it.
You want lunch by 10 o'clock. Okay, not everybody starts cooking lunch at 10 o'clock.
You gotta
I understand.
Ralph is going to help you. Ralph is going to help you. Listen to Ralph. Ralph, go ahead. Help him.
There's a place that you know that he likes that I told you about.
And that place doesn't make lunch before 10:30.
Okay, 10 o'clock. So what you do is you call them up. You say, listen, I need the same thing every day for the next 6 years. I need the same thing. Can you get in? Can you? Because I'm sure they're there. Calm down. So they don't pick up the phone before 10.
What did I tell you
call them at 2 o'clock.
Let
me ask you something, bro. Never mind that.
Didn't I tell you the other day that he should go personally and visit them?
Of course. Listen to me. How do buildings get built? Explain it to me. I'm going to ask you a question. How do buildings get built?
Well, I guess they have to design something through the architect.
Right.
And then they have to go to a construction company that can...
Right. Answer seriously. I'm asking you a question.
They have to go to a construction company that can
Everyone
build
complains I don't talk to them. Here, now I'm going to talk to you. How does a building get built? They go to architect, then they go to construction.
And then they have to go to the city to get permits, and then they have to go to a place to get material.
That he can do.
That you can do. All right, so you could build a building.
You want
now,
a building?
how do movies get made? In a general sense.
I would say a script would have to be developed first. And then you have to pitch it to a movie company, and if they like it, they would accept the script, and they would fund it, and then that company would also in turn get people to work for the movie.
All right, so let me explain something to you. So far, you've proven to me you can build a building and you can make movies, and yet you still don't know how to get lunch. Out of all the knowledge you have acquired.
How long have I been getting you lunch?
What?
3 years?
What?
3 years.
Yeah, but I keep it the same. As soon as I change it, you go into a tailspin.
That's not my fault. When you get someone new to make you lunch, it's like you got to make sure.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get my own lunch.
And that Gange Gorilla.
Doesn't matter. They're interchangeable.
He doesn't understand.
I do understand. I'm willing. I don't.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
You're supposed to make it your fault. See, when you
I know
say
it's my
it's
fault.
not your fault, then you can give it away.
It's my fault that I went down and told the guy no butter.
You don't know how to articulate what the lunch should be. I want you to understand something. I want you to understand something. On the scale of problems in the world, it's not a big problem. You understand?
And I want to do a good job for it. I want to get everything right.
The thing is, I'm trying to incorporate you, make you a valuable employee.
And I'm
trying to give you something that you could do that you would shine at. So I said, what could Gorilla shine at? I know, getting lunch.
And I've done it for 3 years.
And by the way, I don't mean that in a demeaning way. I mean that I looked at your abilities. I looked over your resume again. And you could ask Kathy. I had to pull your letter that you sent us and the resume. I looked it over. I said, what could my man Gorilla do? He's been very loyal. And I looked through the list of possibilities. I said, he's the man to get my lunch. All right?
That's fine. I accept the
don't take it as negative. My lunch is very important to me.
I absolutely believe it's important, and I don't think it's a demeaning job.
Right. And now, I don't know, you're having trouble with it.
3 years.
So I'm going to go back, I'm going to read your letter again, because I'm going to put Gary on lunch. I'm going to see if I can find something else for you to do. Could a mop fit by your buttocks? Maybe you could mop up.
The point is, I've done it for 3 years, and I'll still do it. And
all right, we'll see what happens. We'll see. Maybe today's lunch will go over better.
There's nothing wrong with your willingness. It's just the execution that's a problem.
All right, listen, I hope that this has been a good lesson for the intern.
I don't think Angie learned anything.
No. Gange didn't.
Gange learned nothing.
You asked Gange to help you. I mean, listen, my assistant Laura couldn't believe it. She says, I said to him, hey, would you drive in? We'll pay for your parking, but once a week. I got to think about it.
Oh, he was talking about this in the office yesterday. Yeah,
what was he saying?
He was going, well, they want me to, be delivery boy and stuff.
When did this discussion
Did Kathy not say anything to you yesterday?
No.
In the office, yeah?
How would he know about it?
Congratulations.
What? And you said, well, I don't know. They want me to be a delivery boy.
Yeah, I have to think about it. I said I told him I was in.
Let me ask you something. Can I ask you something? Let me tell you another thing, Gange. Why do you discuss my business with Kathy and anyone else? How come he knows about it?
Someone else brought it up. I don't know.
How would someone else know about it?
I don't know. Somebody brought it up to me.
Oh, yeah? And how would they know about it?
I have no idea. I kept my mouth shut. Why would I tell anybody about it?
I don't know. Just keep my business quiet.
Of course I do. I never say anything.
But listen to the way he phrases it. They want me to be a delivery boy.
No! That's not my words.
Let me ask you something.
The one way I could think about this is if I had to take the train every day in, and you said, I will pay for your parking, you could drive in, I would be there in 2 seconds.
Of course. Listen to me, Kreskin. All right? Because you read people's minds so well. Let me tell you something. You do what you have to do, because you're out of my picture right now. What do? You have your job with me, you have that camera job, and you think you're in the world of television now. But remember, you're not in any world of television. You're in the world of Howard. That's
they always forget what world they're in.
You forget the world. I see him back there. He's hanging out with the E guys.
You always have to explain to them what world they're in.
He thinks he's in television somehow.
He did do a good job with Stuttering John's Tony and Tina's wedding.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he get Tony and Tina's feet, or he got the head?
I think he got the head.
All right, very good.
And I got the
I'll look that
phone
over.
thing.
Good.
Come on, I'm
good. All right, good.
You never say when I'm good on the air. You always say when I'm bad.
When are your parents going to throw you another party? When will you do for that? That was a great party.
Why,
See, they have learned the art of complimenting Gange on absolutely nothing.
I know.
No, I never
that's
did
what he
compliment.
needs.
That was the first time in my whole life
That's what he needs.
compliment.
His parents throw him a big party because he graduated at Delphi. I guarantee you, an CW Post, an Abe could graduate CW
With
Post.
a degree he can't use for anything.
Right.
They're giving him a huge party.
What degree did you get?
A BFA in communication arts.
A BFA?
Big fat ass. I knew that was coming.
Gange was born. His first duty, they threw a block party. His parents.
What is a BFA?
Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Bachelor of Fine
Arts. Ooh.
I didn't realize. Well, then I take everything back.
Finer arts.
I didn't realize you were so qualified. Very good with your college degree. What is it, Fafafui? I must take a break
Okay,
here.
I just had Steve's original letter and original resume.
Wow.
It's all connected.
Well, let me look at Steve's resume. Maybe there's something I
Yeah,
can...
you can find something else for her.
Papa Flunky.
Look at this. Oh, he sent me his Hunter College...
Hunter.
Look at this. What is this? What is this? What did you send
Let me
here?
see.
That is there an evaluation?
Oh no, that's not my resume.
That's your evaluation?
That's the thing that the school sends.
Well, please respond to the following statements by circling the appropriate number.
What is
reliable in getting to work on time and keeping engagements. Always. Dependable in fulfilling assignments. I like this thing. They have always, usually, sometimes, rarely, not observed. Well, he has all fours, which means always. Steve has been a great asset to the show. I can't give him a high enough grade. Oh, Gary gave him this grade.
Yes, that's Gary's evaluation of him.
Oh, I see.
Wait a second.
Just so you know, Howard, Gril is a good kid, but in rare exceptions, everybody gets the highest grade just for showing up.
Right. Let's see. Here's Gorilla's letter to me.
Oh, come on, man.
I am going to try to get right to the point.
And that's going to be difficult, apparently.
Can I have that, please?
My name is Steve Grillo. I'm 19 and attending my second semester at Hunter College. I have not declared a major yet, but I am leaning toward communications. I am writing, WRITTING, 2 T's. This letter, hoping you will feel my sincerity. SINCERETY.
Feel my sincerity.
I am an avid listener of the Howard Stern Show. I have already submitted a resume. I love the word resume. You know how you're supposed to put a little...
Accenting Q.
An accenting mark over the M or the E? It's the E, I think it is in resume.
E, yes.
Yeah. He put it over the U. He wasn't even close.
Ooh.
Resume. I can't read this. This is too painful.
Thank you.
Continue.
I didn't want to give you... This is why he's writing it. He writes it in hand, not type. I didn't want to give you some typed-up phony letter. I want to be straightforward with you. No bull. I am very interested in becoming a radio broadcaster.
Put no bull
no
in the
bull.
letter?
Yeah.
No bull.
I know that you just don't jump into a position like that. I know you have to start out at the bottom.
What position is yours?
I don't know. What position were you looking for in radio?
Some type of internship.
I wake up every day listening to the show thinking about the experience, EXPIERENCE,
Experience.
I could get from being an intern. Like I said before, I know I have to start out at the bottom, and what a better place to start out at the bottom than with a show that's on top.
Oh, boy.
I know I could tell you what a hardworking and devoted person I am, but I'm sure you hear that all the time. I'm also sure people are there just to say that they work for the Howard Stern Show. I'm not looking for fame right now. I'm looking to learn. I have this desire inside of me that eats at me every day.
Maybe it got your lunch, Howard.
Yeah, it ate my lunch. I'm sure you know I feel. I know the sacrifices that have to be taken, and I'm more than willing to take them.
The sacrifices. The sacrifices working with you.
I know. I know I'm going out on a limb to tell you this now. I've taken too much of your time already.
That was on line 1.
I'm taking too much of your time.
No bull.
I feel I have to do this. When I first didn't get a response from when I submitted my first resume, I have to admit I was disappointed. I tried to put it out of my mind. Steve couldn't get a job for free. I tried to put it out of my mind, but I couldn't. Something inside of me keeps telling me not to give up.
It was eating me.
So I'm a dedicated person.
My only hope is this letter. I'm asking you to...
Wouldn't you be scared to hire this person?
We were. That's why we rejected him the first time. It was unbelievable.
I didn't send that. I sent
we hired ex-cons instead of you.
At a first try.
First try, Basil got it. Did you have any trouble getting... Basil, what's on your lips, man?
What?
I don't
You're
know.
looking a little shiny today.
Yeah, what's all that? Is that chapstick?
Yeah.
Makes you look scarier than ever.
You're supposed to put it on your lips, not on your upper mouth.
Yeah, he's got it on his beard.
Yeah, it looks like a mustache. A
Dude,
chapstick mustache.
All right, thanks. A minstrel show. Hey, Mammy.
So it got me here, didn't it?
If I didn't work out, at least I know I've tried. Gary, I'm asking you one more thing. Please don't leave me hanging. Good or bad, I'd like to know what the story is, or I just may go crazy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's too late.
Even if you can't use me now, I would like to know. I'll be ready anytime. I can't tell you how much I would appreciate a call back or a letter as soon as possible. And there you are, and that's how you became the famous Steve Gorilla.
Didn't Gary come to you and say we got no applications? We're going to have to take that nut with the letter? Or
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
It's true.
It's true.
Jackie.
All right, but you're here.
Eat me.
All right, everybody now can leave. I hope this has been some lesson. And Gange, don't worry about it. I won't pressure you anymore into anything. You're done with me.
Don't worry, there will be no more requests.
That's right. Grillo and Chris, and of course, Wacky back
Basil.
there. The great Basil. Let's just
make a plea.
Yeah.
After my 8 years of illustrious undergraduate work.
Yes.
Please have a job at some point.
Let me tell you something. Can I tell you something? What university do you go to?
I go to Columbia University.
Right. You blow all these guys out the door. Columbia. What do you go, Chris?
Community college, but that's not, I happen to think just because he goes to Columbia doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's a nice credential.
Calm down.
It means a little bit. I mean, he got in, obviously.
Chris came up to me and complained about our sports program.
About Columbia's?
He goes, yeah, Columbia. Nice football team. And I was like, community college, nice life.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
These two hate each other because each one thinks they're better than the other?
And same thing with Vic, too, all three.
I know, it's all three of you.
Where does Vic go to school?
Chris, you think you've got a better academic credential than him?
I don't say academically. I mean, I'm sure just because of the school, it brings it down a little bit.
I think personally he thinks he's smart.
What do you go to, community college?
What community college?
What community college do you go to?
Generic community college. Just CC.
What do you mean? It's just called community college?
No, it's Union County College.
Union County College? Are you going to argue academic credentials with this guy?
I could, I think.
Really?
I think that what Chris is saying...
Gorilla, show him the application.
Wait.
He could have gone anywhere.
That makes me less of a...
Hey, Chris, move over a little bit to this side so you don't block my camera.
But what he's saying is he could have gone anywhere. He chose to go to community college.
Yeah, right. Oh, you mean Harvard called you, but you decided to go to community college?
I turned him down. I said, let me go to this 2-year school route.
How can you argue with Basil? How can you argue with Basil?
Program.
How can you argue with Basil
I'm
about
not
college?
arguing, but when he thinks it's... Well, he started first with, oh, you go here and I go to Columbia. Well, I said, I'm not going to... I got to knock him down
Who started? Gorilla, who started this whole thing?
He's always like, he walks around with his nose in the air in the back. Yeah, you do. And they're just like...
And exhaling heavily.
Yeah.
No, he's always annoyed.
Yeah.
Always annoyed. What is it, stuttering John?
Here comes Curly.
Don't knock don't block my camera, please.
I'm trying not to. Chris and Stutter and Vic go at it all the time. It's pretty funny.
Is that right?
Yeah, Chris is very hostile towards most.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to prepare for you guys. I'm going to have Basil, Vic, and Chris play Jeopardy.
Yes, finally. Finally.
And I will decide who is the smartest.
If I could say,
I have been wanting this for a while.
If I could say, Basil's definitely the most non-confrontational intern we have.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I will...
That record will do that to you, I guess.
I guess that criminal conviction will do it.
You can make somebody snap, though, any second.
And when Basil says that, watch out.
Wow. I tell you what I'll do.
Basil is a convict and got into Columbia. Chris, you should be ashamed of yourself.
He's saying that Basil has a criminal record and he's in Columbia.
Union County turned me away because of my record.
But boy, can those community college people play football.
Yeah, Basil, I mean,
boy, the squash program at Union County kicks your ass.
Chris, you can't argue academic credentials with a guy from Columbia.
But just
I wouldn't even dare do that.
When two of us graduate, does that make him more qualified?
Yes.
Of course it does.
Of course it does, man.
Oh, if you guys go for the same job and I see Columbia and community college, you think I'm going to talk to the Columbia guy ahead of you?
I'll come in with a ball and chain and a community resume from Columbia, and you can come in a suit and a Union County piece of paper here.
Chris, you really think that you got a better credential than him?
I'm not saying it's a better credential. I'm just saying You don't judge a person on just their.
What else
you judged me of being a convict the first minute I was in here.
I was busting you.
What else? But what else? If I was an employer and you guys don't really have much work experience, what else would I judge you on? Except for your academic credential. You're both equally scary.
So he wins on that, I guess.
I get it. I mean, you're both.
You're telling me you think an A from Union County is as good as an A from Columbia?
Well, honestly, I've never gotten one of those.
I'm not going to say that. No.
No.
But
yeah, I mean, get with it.
I'm going to defend the college I go to. I'm not going to.
Don't even try.
All right.
It's community college.
How many in those troops? 2?
That's the 13th grade. Your SATs must have been ridiculous.
Why are you in community college?
What were your SATs?
I think you were 1050.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you have to take care of your mother or something?
What happened? I mean, what happened? You couldn't get into any other school?
No, I got into a 4-year school, and it didn't suit me. I was working at the time.
What was it? What was
Chris thought he was too good for the 4-year school.
I was walking around with a chip on my shoulder, my nose in the air.
All right,
What was the 4-year school?
What's that?
What was the 4-year school?
It was Kane College, which is in...
Oh, Kane College. Oh, why'd you say so? You must have been an academic disaster.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This show wrecked my life, though.
They didn't have a very good basketball team. They went to Union County.
Union County. And he argues with you?
All the time.
Right,
He'll just walk in. He'll just walk in the office, and I'll be sitting there doing articles, working.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And
I just walk in, nonchalant, right?
And Chris walks in.
He's all pissed.
So bad. Heard you on the air the other day.
Oh, my Scott? What are you doing?
Well, Chris gets upset because he's not on the air. I know you get really burned up when everyone else gets on the air but you.
No,
I'm not talking about you, bad.
All right, well, there you go. All right, we have to take a break.
Whew, what a mess.
All right, listen, I will have intern Jeopardy. We'll prove who's the best intern. Gange, there's no straightening you out. And Gorilla, I'm sorry I had to take away your lunch detail.
Why?
Well, I'll try and find something else for you to do around
But
here.
it's eating at me.
All right.
Is there a safety net that Gorilla can't fall through?
I keep trying to find stuff for him to do.
You can't even get the heater on in the morning.
No. Well, then we gave him a job. You want to hear this? I got to just say this, then I'll break, I swear.
Oh, no.
So I said, okay, Gorilla's a failure at getting my lunch. So I said, okay.
Yes.
We give him an assignment. It's very cold in the back office. There's no heat back there. Because this company, by the way, is not doing very well, so they can't find a heating system.
Can't pay the bill.
Right. So it's very cold back there. So we got a space heater. So me and Ralph say to Gorilla, tell you what, put the space heater on.
Before you get in.
Before we get in, since he gets in first. Okay, that I can do. No problem. There's no problem. All right. First day we get in there, what happens, Ralph?
It's not on.
Right. So we call Gorilla and we say, listen, the space heater's not on. He goes, I put it on. I turned it on. It wasn't on there.
No,
that mic doesn't work.
That was after after 3 times of not turning it on. He's like, I turned it on, and we go inside, and it's not plugged in.
Yeah, he did turn it on, but he didn't check to see if it was plugged in.
He didn't know it wasn't
It
on?
was plugged in when I left. I didn't know it.
Gorilla, see, your problem is you don't check your work. Like, you don't check the rice to make sure it's not oily. You don't check the heater to make sure it's on. You gotta check
I would
your
give
work.
you more important responsibilities. It's just I got to find one that you can do first, an easy one, and then once you do that, once you do that, Chris,
check
what are you
your
talking about?
What's that?
Your mouth is moving, but you're not saying anything.
Yeah,
Chris is really
he's
sick.
got a real he's got a problem about thinking and talking at the same time.
I do?
His thoughts come out of his mouth all the
you
time.
were just talking and nothing was going on. What?
Yeah.
Check the camera.
Was I?
Yeah, you move your mouth like you're talking, and then you...
Howard, one time we're in the back, and I said, Chris, what did you say? He goes, nothing. I said, you said something. He goes, I did not. I said, you said something. He goes, well, I was just thinking it. I didn't mean to say it.
I didn't say that. Maybe it was too early.
Somebody cover me. I'm going to try and get out of here. All right, listen. I love all you guys. You're all great guys. Chris, you go talk to yourself. Basil, good luck with your convictions. Gorilla, I'll find something for you to do because you know what? Your heart's in the right place. I know you try. It's just it. And you know what? Putting on the heater, that's not that easy. I recognize that.
Sometimes you come in late, you're running around, and it's just like, if it's
understand.
freezing back there, I make sure it's on.
Perfectly reasonable.
I'm always out. I'm always looking out.
It was too
for
much.
you,
Now Ralph handles it. It's okay. We've taken care of it. You don't have to get the lunch, and you don't have to put on the heater. But I'm going to find something else for you to do. I swear, before you leave here, you are going to have something to do. Okay? Don't get nervous.
You know, there was something else.
He's trying to keep people off my...
Hey, Gorilla, get away.
There was something else I asked him to do.
What was that?
You know how, like, at the end of the show...
You tell me to do it, because I don't like taking orders from him.
Go ahead.
See, that's it. If I ask...
What did you ask him to do? What did you ask him to do?
He doesn't understand. It's for you. to give you those wipes to when we're done with the show to wipe off your makeup.
Yeah, but that's hard for him.
All day.
That's hard for him.
And I said, you know, when you put down his lunch,
We try to give Ralph tried to come up with a job for Gorilla because Ralph likes Gorilla.
Yeah.
So he says, hey, Howard always forgets to take his makeup off. So why don't you hand him the wipes to take the makeup off?
When you're doing the lunch
I'm never
thing.
back there.
But he's back there with the lunch and it gets him confused.
No, I got like.
But now they took off the lunch, maybe you can hand me the wipes. All right?
You think you can do the wipe?
I got to give him something to do. He feels useless.
Have him start with the lights, maybe. Flip it on and off.
You want to flip the lights on?
Sure.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. You do. You're in charge of the lights.
Go ahead, huh? See if you can do it.
One day, he brought in the wipes, and he plugged in the heater, and he ended up the wipes were in the rice. Got all confused with 3 jobs at once.
Too much.
All right, listen. Let's take a break. Everyone's obviously a little agitated. There's been a lot of critiquing going on, and we'll take a break. When we come back, listen, I'll get Intern Jeopardy together, and you guys can finally decide who's the best, okay? All right.
That'd be great.
Gorilla, don't worry. We'll find you something to do. All right?
You're not in Intern Jeopardy. Don't worry.
And you don't have to take part in that. Certainly Gange doesn't. He's a very big star. All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be back right after these words.
So this girl Debbie's here to test my brain, see if I'm crazy or not, and everybody else's brain that they're going to test, okay?
I'll tell you right now, you're crazy.
Wait a minute. The chick is hot. How the hell am I going to concentrate?
I know.
She's smoking hot. How am I going to do that?
You can't have your behavior analyzed with a boner.
Yeah, exactly. Let's bring Debbie in.
Are you ready for this?
Ready for what?
For the big personality test.
Oh,
okay, right this way. Right.
Now it's a personality test.
What did you think it was?
Sort of a behavioral
crazy test. If I'm going to see if I'm
Well,
not.
it's going to test to see your mental health.
My mental health?
Yes.
How am I supposed to concentrate? She's too hot.
That's great.
Debbie, how does this process go? What are you going to actually analyze?
Well, we're going to analyze things from their personalities to things like depression, anxiety, the things like narcissistic personality disorder, dependent personality disorder. There isn't anything that won't be found out with this test.
Is this a written, exam-style test, or
Well,
is this more...
it's a true-false 175-question test. It's highly reliable, highly valid. It's one of the best tests out there, so it's the most objective test we could find.
Now, do you know anything about the subjects you'll be testing, besides Howard and Robin and some of the people on the air?
Thank you.
What do you mean?
Do you know anything about their personalities going into this test?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a huge listener. I've been listening forever, so I know as much as anyone can know from listening to them on the radio.
So who do you think early on is going to be the craziest?
That's interesting. I probably should have thought of that before coming. I don't know. I have to be quite honest with you.
It could be a dead heat.
Well, it could be a dead heat, and the people that appear behaviorally more crazy, whatever word you want to use, may not be the ones who are actually underneath hiding something. So you don't know. It could be anyone. So let me just explain. You don't have to do any of that yet.
I already failed.
What we're going to be doing, this personality inventory is going to test you on everything there is to test you on when it comes to your personality disorders, anything that's in you, syndromes like anxiety or depression, or, if there's a mental health issue, it will show up on this test.
Okay.
And the reality is we all are something,
Right.
on the continuum. We'll all have a little narcissism. We'll all have a little, it just depends where you fall on the continuum. So you don't want to try to make up for one thing, because then you'll end up on a scale somewhere else. And so you want to, and also there's inconsistency scales in the test, so you might render it not usable if you don't try to answer as honestly as possible.
Apparently, there's no way to cheat this test. I actually sent somebody an email saying, do you know anything about these tests? And he replied, it's like, you know what? Answer is as much as you want me to do so. He said, answer as honestly as you can. He said, because you know something, they will find out where you're trying to deceive them.
Yeah, he's right. There's these inconsistency scales throughout the test.
If you're crazy, you may as well just come out and say it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, Dr. Debbie.
Yes.
Is there a personality disorder associated with wearing sunglasses indoors, like tinted
There is none that is diagnosable at the moment,
Right.
but we'll give it some thought. They might be odd questions, but you want to try not to second guess on how it's going to make you come out, right?
You shouldn't worry about how you're going to...
Right, and there's all sorts of inconsistency scales, so you just want to do your best to just say what you got to say. Understood. I think we're ready to roll. So, bye. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And
Thank you for my test.
You're welcome. And I guess I'll be back with the results.
Yeah, great. I can't wait.
Okay.
It's going to be good.
Nice to meet you. Bye, Hal.
And you'll see how normal I am and what bunch of maniacs I work with.
Steve.
Greg.
The experience. Overall.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever taken anything like that. I don't think I have.
Right.
Well, who knows? I mean, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't know, anything about the test. I just took it.
Benji, you seem to take a little bit longer than the other.
My nature for these kind of questions, like, it's like there's so many different ways to weigh them. Well,
you're also, an admitted overthinker with things.
I guess so.
You're very
he would
considerate.
take his time thinking and circling and question marking.
Yes.
Analyzing me.
Yes.
Right?
Well, it was fun.
Is this a hat you wear all the time? Is this the hat, or is it many different hats?
Well, this one started about a year ago, then Howard complained about it, so I stopped. I like it a lot. So it just started again this season about a week ago.
Interesting. Nice to meet you.
I like it.
I
think
like
it's a fun
it.
hat.
It's very nice.
Well, why is it interesting?
Everything's interesting. Don't you find people interesting? Listen, you found it interesting looking at me during the test.
Yes.
What did you notice about the test? Did you...
A lot of wacky questions.
Well, you're a wacky guy, so
Yeah,
I'm sure.
well, hopefully I answered the wacky questions right, but I don't know. We'll see.
Why did you find it to be wacky? What just things you've never thought about your personality? And
No, it's just like they try to keep bringing back the same kind of topics about different things,
Well, it's looking for consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think this test will uncover anything that we don't already know about you?
Well, I don't think I'm crazy, but a lot of people do think I'm crazy, so we'll find out, won't we?
You look very relieved, Robin.
I am relieved, because if they find me crazy based on that test, I won't mind.
Fred?
Yes.
You have a similar experience? Was it enjoyable?
I still think I'm okay. Otherwise, I'm sure that room was probably wired. So anybody that would be sitting there would be outside already with a straitjacket. So I think I'm okay.
You didn't feel like you answered any questions?
I'm sure I answered a shitload of questions that'll give people pause for thought, but fuck it. What's that?
I walked by, he was screaming.
It's really interesting, sitting with each person, everybody responded very differently to the test, so that can tell you something about each person also. And I can probably talk more about that next week, but you get to know people's personalities. But interestingly, the show is so telling of people, like people are so who they are in the show. Everyone was exactly who I thought they'd be. Like there was no surprises.
I fully expect the psychiatric exam to go badly for me today.
Oh, my God. It woke me up a couple of times last night. I was like, well, today's my last day of being considered even sort of sane.
We're doing that around 7 o'clock, so we got to get some betting going, too.
See, I don't have that far to fall because nobody considers me sane. So.
Do you think the person that's actually crazy will seek treatment?
I don't. That's the problem.
Well, if it's me, I will.
You will.
Because I think I'm fine. I would be shaken to find out I had all these problems that I'm not aware of, and I would go seek help.
You know what? I admire you for saying that, because I do think you're going to test very poorly. And no offense.
Thank you very much
listen,
for
it is
your
who you are.
support.
It's who you are. And you can't help it.
Why do you
I love
hate
you.
me?
I don't hate you. I love you. I want you to get help. I think you need more therapy. I don't like all this running around in enemas and
here we go.
every minute. Even like the 15 Foundation.
What's wrong with that?
You're completely obsessed. And
With what? I'm obsessed with nothing.
No.
I have a lot of different interests.
Everything is very intense. There's tremendous frantic energy with all
What
this.
is intense?
I don't know.
Just stop it. You're making this up.
You see,
You're
told
trying
me.
to paint me.
No, you told me to tell you things, and then I tell you, and you get upset anyway. So that's why I can't tell you anything. You're impossible. She says, tell me what you think. And then I tell her, if you're a friend, you'll tell me. I tell her, and then she tells me I'm a fucking bad person. Look, I'm worried about you.
Worried?
Yes.
What has happened?
I think after the psychiatric test is revealed today.
But what was worrying you before? Are you saying you're worried about me in the psychiatric test?
Yes.
Are you saying you were worried about me before?
Yes, before.
Before? What was going on?
You're frantically running back and forth with this California to Europe to God knows where.
I'm not running anywhere.
And you all weekend you're busy, too busy.
My cat is sick. What, was I supposed to not pay attention?
No, that's not this. I'm not talking about this week.
Well, things come up. I would have been relaxing this weekend.
No, you don't. You don't relax, and then you're busy with it, and then you're consumed with this strict eating regimen.
It's not a strict eating regimen. I eat the way I like to eat.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just glad you had your head examined here. But listen, you are not going to be the worst person. There's going to be one person who evidently, according to the pyramid of this thing, 3 of us will be okay.
And I'm not in that 3, you say?
No, let me ask you something. Will you get help if you're in the 2 category?
Well, if it surprises or shocks me, yes.
Okay, good. Because you're going to be surprised. I'm guessing all of this.
Suppose you're the top tier. You're like going to say, I guess I'll go back for that 4th day and...
Well, listen, I can't do more than 3 days a week. I'm miserable as it is. I spend so much time in that therapist's office. I was there yesterday, and I didn't want to go, and then all of a sudden I'm there, and I went, thank God I went today, because look what the fuck is coming out.
Well, that's usually an indication that you need to be there. The moments you really are resistant,
yes.
I really don't want to go here, I'm too busy, you're giving yourself all kinds of reasons that you shouldn't go.
Right.
Means something's up.
Right, and then I went in there, and all of a sudden something was up.
Yeah.
Evidently, I was really irritated this weekend.
Really?
By a bunch of things that went down. You're aware of some of them, because I had a discussion with you about it over the weekend. I don't know if you know what I'm referring to.
I have to think about it.
Yeah, you have to think about it.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Right.
Yes,
so
yes.
I really was aggravated. But, look, I don't believe, honestly, I can tell you, today when we get the results of the psychiatric exam, I do not believe that I will be in
top tier.
In the top tier. I believe it'll be Ronnie the limo driver or... And I'm being honest, and it's, Ronnie doesn't like to hear this. It's either I would bet the farm on Ronnie the limo driver, but Natalie Maines wrote me a text immediately yesterday and said, she goes, I bet the farm that Benji's way worse than Ronnie the limo driver.
You know what? If Benji is way up, if he's the top, I will guarantee you he answered the question so he could be.
Right. I thought that too. That went through my mind.
Yeah, he'd stick it up.
Because he lied about his age and everything.
Natalie has a bug about me because
what?
Because I said I thought I could hook up with her, but I think it's good to be confident with any.
She thinks you're a fucking nut.
Well, maybe because I thought I could hook up with her.
Right. That ain't the reason.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
But I'm not the one craziest. I thought about it.
So who do you think it is?
Well, just based on Gary said it's a big shock. I wouldn't be a big shock to be the craziest.
Look.
And how crazy you are might be.
Nah, it wouldn't be. It just wouldn't.
Well,
it
then
wouldn't
maybe
fit.
it's me.
But I don't think that's what Gary was saying. I think he said you're going to be surprised by the scale.
Maybe, but
what Gary has said, the shocking thing we're going to learn today about one of us, and this will be the person with the highest evaluation, that it's almost impossible to score such a high score in certain categories. You would have to be deranged, almost. And this test actually tests for bipolar, for aggressive behaviors, personality disorders, borderline personalities. I mean, this is a very thorough test. We're going to know.
Unless it's coming out that I'm the most normal, he's going to say that's a bigger shock.
Well, I don't know.
But I'll bet you on that it's Langford.
You think Steve Langford? Well, that's what Ronnie said to me. He said...
Well, that's what I just was coming in to say.
Yeah, he said everyone's forgetting about Langford. I do not think Langford.
No.
I think Langford...
Have you ever looked at into Langford's eyes and really talked to this man?
Yeah, you're right. It's disturbing. But what about Fred? Have you ever done that with Fred?
I talk to Fred all the time.
Right.
I have no problem with Fred.
You have never, really talked to Fred and realized what's going on?
I talk to Fred a lot.
You don't see what's happening there?
No.
Okay.
Then you and Fred,
dude, I hooked
the two.
Maybe it was me and Fred because
you two maniacs connect, huh?
I remember the day I met Fred was with you when I met you the first time, and I spent the whole day with Fred, and all we did was we bonded the whole day.
Nobody bonds with Fred.
No, well, we did.
He has an affect. He has an affect.
Well, I guess we didn't bond then. I just thought we did.
Well, I think we bonded, but according to how we did it.
It's very hard to bond with Fred.
All right, Fred. So who do you think will be the craziest one here?
It wouldn't surprise me if it was me.
You know why it could be Fred?
I'd be glad if it wasn't.
I'll tell you
at
what,
least
Fred.
it would actually vindicate me somewhat from taking all this abuse for all these years.
You know what, though, Fred? I'm going to tell you something, and don't be too upset by this. It really could be you, and I'll tell you why.
Why would I be upset?
All right, first of all, I want to preface this by saying I truly love Fred. Fred's one of the most talented guys I've ever met in my life.
Butts before the shiv goes in.
Right,
Go ahead,
the shiv's going to go in.
I feel it. Go ahead, I'm prepared.
I believe you have serious mental disorders.
All right.
And that you...
You know what you're like?
What?
You're like the guy on the mental ward.
By the way, I just told you the same thing.
Who acts like a doctor.
That's
Right.
Jack Nicholson over there. What flew over the cuckoo's nest?
I believe Fred.
You're deluded into thinking that you're a doctor.
Fred had a very rough childhood.
Very rough.
Something I'm very privileged to know.
Sorry
and he
about
shared
that.
with me.
Well, had I known then what I know now, I would have not shared any of that.
And he has certain personality quirks, I'll call them. That you know what I mean, Robin.
Robin, I do the best with the cards that I was dealt.
Don't leave me hanging here. You know Fred's
Oh,
peculiar,
please! You
right?
both sit around a fire and you stick pins in the Fred doll.
And like when I'm not in the room, that doesn't happen.
Not with me.
She's here.
Wait. Don't bring in a lady yet.
Well,
she's
outside. I'm going to get her.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm going to go get her.
You got to go get her.
And by the way,
Don't leave her outside. She might get angrier, and our diagnoses will get worse.
all this speculation, Ronnie's a fucking madman. And if it doesn't show up, then I'll know the
stop
test is
it.
bullshit.
I'm not a madman.
You're insane.
I'm not
You're
insane.
You're the angriest guy I've ever met.
Bullshit, dude. You're angry too, and you just.
I've never seen-
And I know you admit you're angry.
We're
but
driving yesterday.
What did I do?
He knows.
What the fuck?
What did you do? Tell Robin what you did.
What did I? Oh,
The cab.
yeah. What about it?
What did you
we
do?
went through that whole thing.
We're driving along.
Listen. You want to hear what happened?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I drive every day in this city.
Yes.
Okay. And this lunatic never drives in this city.
Right.
Okay. So we're driving up Central Park West, and this south, and this guy in a cab decides he's just going to cut out.
Uh-oh.
But I
Right.
didn't stop. I just kept going.
Right.
And I said to him,
I said to you, I was fascinated. I said, Ronnie, what part of you believes that you can continue like this guy's not going to crash into you?
Right.
And he said to me, I don't know. But
he's willing to go.
I'm willing
for
to go.
it.
And he's right, because I see these guys back off. I wasn't criticizing him. I admire his driving.
well,
He's
why am I a
fabulous driver.
madman then?
But your whole psyche is like one of like... that's madness.
No, that's how you have to operate in New York City to drive.
That's how you operate.
Professionally. If you drive like a guy like you that comes in once every 10 years and drives in the city, and he's going to jam on his brakes when that guy comes to pull out. Instead of going, he's going to jam on his brakes. Somebody's going to ram into him. And the cab is
You
going
mean I would jam on my brakes?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the guy in the cab is going to keep going, laughing, going, "Hey, man, I'm on my way. Fuck this guy."
All right.
You know.
We'll see the test. That's going to be
All
here
right,
soon.
I don't care.
You better go get her.
I'm going
What
to get
if-
her.
well,
I want to go
nobody's-
look at her more than get her.
The thing
Right.
is, nobody came out normal.
Nobody came out
I don't know.
completely normal. No.
No,
As far as that, we're gonna see. We got to
Never
see.
said I was normal.
Like some of it could be like slight neuroses. It could be,
But
and
everybody's got
Everyone's got something.
that sent the needle higher than normal.
yes, that is true.
Howard, can you mandate a therapy session for the craziest person?
No, of course I can. You can't listen. It's just like on Celebrity Rehab. These guys are horribly drug addicted, and Dr. Drew says to them, "All right, I need you to go into aftercare. You're a crazy addict." And they go, "No,
I'm fine."
right? Listen."
What if they agree to it now? Say, yeah, I'll go to one.
Listen, you heard what Robin said. If she's that upper tier person, she said, I'm going to have to really realize that I might not know what the fuck is going on with me, and I need to go into therapy. So
I would literally have no grasp of reality.
we might even have her carted out of here in a straitjacket.
It might take that, you know.
Yeah.
It might be that I'll have a meltdown.
I don't know that it's going to be
You know how, like, if you unmask the wizard, he loses it?
Right.
If I discover that I don't know myself at all and things are revealed about me, I could just sort of disappear.
All right. I got you a beautiful straitjacket, just in case.
Something in
Bejeweled.
a nice
You'll love it.
fuchsia.
Listen, when we come back, Robin, Fred, Benji, myself, Howard, Steve Langford. Did I mention Ronnie the Mun limo
And
driver?
you did not mention Ronnie.
Ronnie the Mun limo driver, I think that's everyone.
Yes.
We will find out who's the most crazy. And evidently, according to Gary, who knows, there is startling details that you are going to hear. No hype. That someone's mind is really going to be blown. Sorry.
He also said, you know, each of us might get a little bit of a shock.
Each of us will get a little jolt.
Actually, I already know.
You know what?
Jason told me the other day because someone was coming by from traffic or something. We're getting a sponsor for Fred's Crazy Contest.
He didn't say that.
He did say that.
He did?
He
Well, he was joking.
It probably is you mental
It is me. Come on.
Yeah.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. Bring the girl down.
Well, anyway.
Never said that.
Yes, you did.
Maybe Fred hears things as well.
Yeah, I'm hearing things, so this will bear it out.
When we come back, I would like to bet a little dough.
All right.
I have my feelings on who's the craziest. I'd like to make a little money on it.
Go ahead.
Since I dropped a fortune on the IQ test.
Pierce tweets from yesterday and today. We'll have some sad news for you.
So
the menu you're looking at is outdated.
Well, here's the one thing. So they change the soups every day. I have a list of the soups.
I give up.
Turkey chili. I'll get you turkey chili. That's good. I've had it there. Yeah.
Turkey chili soup?
It's like a turkey chili. Yeah, it's like a. That's what it is.
It's soup.
It's a
chili.
soupish. It's chili.
Is it soup or is it chili?
It's chili.
Go ahead.
Split pea, garden tomato vegetable. You don't want to get clam chowder. Chicken noodle, cream of broccoli. You don't want cream of potato and cheddar. Those are the ones I have.
All right, I'll try the chili.
It's good.
But that's
good.
fattening, isn't it?
Turkey chili? No.
Give me the cream of potatoes and cheese.
All right, and you want to wrap with that or just turkey chili?
No, just turkey chili. You got it.
See,
I went over you.
I get a great smoothie from a place up where I live, but I got to tell you, like there's a smoothie shop down in Rockville Center. It's like 1,400 calories.
Right, I don't
you know
want
what I mean?
that.
Like you know, you should try that one place that you're talking about. That you looked at the smoothies. It's right around the corner.
Howard.
Because I used to get them on my way home.
I give up.
I'm sorry.
I checked the fat
I
content.
don't know. It's not working out for me.
I was talking to you during the commercials about my lunch. So Will sent me home with 5 menus from delis and stuff and places around here, like Pomp, you know. 5 menus. He said, why don't you pick out some stuff you want for lunch since you hate your lunch so much? I hate my lunch. The whole baked potato turkey thing wasn't working. They weren't making it the right way I liked it. I like a potato microwaved, almost completely hard, like a hard ball.
Really?
Yeah. I like all the nutrients burned out of it. But anyway, but that's I got to do it myself, you know, and it's a whole hassle. So now I'm looking for alternative lunches. So I went home and I did my homework.
Yes.
I took out all 5 menus. I studied. I hate staring at a menu, but I looked at every choice and I picked out like 10 lunches.
Okay.
Which I'm going to do on a rotating basis. Pick them all out. Will comes back to me the next day. He goes, I called all the places. You eat lunch too early at 8:30 in the morning. They don't want to make lunch, and it's too much of a fucking hassle for them, and they don't want to do it. I go, fuck. I had a whole smorgasbord.
Let me ask you something.
And
I don't know what these
smorgasbord
things are, but could he order them a day before? No.
Evidently not. Will knows how to do it.
Okay.
So then he said, I'm sorry, man. Now I'm back to that turkey sandwich, which I don't want to eat. So last night he got me more menus. And I'm looking at the menu. Now I'm down to really shitty menus because I think I'm just going to order soup for lunch. So I circled. I did a lot of work on this. Hey, Will, get in here. I got chicken noodle soup. I could do for $4.99. You get 16 ounces of soup. Is that a good lunch? Chicken noodle soup. I mean, that's a lot of food, right? Well,
What's got those matzo balls in it?
I don't know what has got in it. Then there's one called, listen to this, garden vegetable and navy bean.
That's probably a more hearty soup.
Yeah, with turkey chili added. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Organic split pea. I like that. Listen
I'm
to
just
this.
wondering, you like that full feeling.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So the bean
You like that
soup.
full feeling. Yeah, I like to eat and feel full. Call me a nut. Why is my lunch such a fucking hassle? Everyone around here...
Because you're eating at 8:30.
Thank you. I mean, that's what it is.
So, but what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. I'm hoping somebody hears
Maybe
this
I should eat lunch.
conversation.
Maybe I should eat lunch at another time.
Yeah, like
when else?
lunchtime.
But I don't have any time.
I know. Maybe you can eat something
I
to hold
hit
you
the gym
over.
during lunch, and you know what I mean?
Maybe you want another kind of breakfast.
So I'm looking at the menu. I said, you know what I do? I got to get another kind of lunch. Oh, I see what you're saying. Another kind of breakfast.
Right.
Yeah, why can't...
You could do that. Anywhere will do breakfast.
All right, so look at this. They say here, they got make your own salad, but it's hard to eat a salad when you're on the air and you
And
only
they
have 2
probably
minutes.
don't have that set up, do they?
I mean, they might be able to work it out for help.
All right, what is this? What is a smoothie? Like, does that have...
That's just fruit, sugar.
Well, it could be yogurt and
Listen to
fruit.
this. Berry crush, strawberry, raspberry, and blueberry fresh fruit smoothie. But I don't know, is that with milk?
Well, it depends on who's making it.
Well, wait a second. Here,
Whether
listen to
it's,
this.
You know.
The Pump is a very healthy place.
Okay.
They make something called Energy Shake. $6.89. This could be my lunch. Now listen to this. Cafe Vive with chocolate whey protein. Isn't that what that's what we advertise? That's
protein.
Whey protein.
Yeah.
Cafe Vive?
What's Cafe Vive? I don't want caffeine. Oh, it's coffee. Okay, forget that one.
Right.
How's this? Fruits of Paradise, rice milk. That sounds good. Pear, strawberries, blueberries, banana, pomegranate juice.
You're acting like this is going to fill you up. It's a drink, Howard.
Yeah, but that's enough for lunch for me.
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Because what I see you eating over there is pretty hefty.
Yeah, and I don't like it. It's too much for me.
Too much?
Yeah.
You should try to get a breakdown of the calories and the sugar
what's the
content.
calories?
I don't know, but most places do that because smoothies are
By
one
the
of
way,
those
you
things.
are officially gross. He was over my apartment last night for 2 hours. We had a meeting. He claims he had eaten improperly because I put out some nuts and fruit, and that he had something caught in his throat. You're sick. You have a cough.
No.
You were coughing every
I know.
second.
I had one of those wheat
Yeah,
things.
but you had
caught
a phlegmy, hacky cough.
No, I just had something caught in my throat.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You're sick.
No, Howard.
And during the meeting, I turned to Gary because he's in my apartment.
I know. He's just like.
And I go, Gary, are you okay?
I was. I was fine for the whole meeting.
You were snorting through the whole fucking meeting.
I was fine for. I was fine for the
bullshit
whole
artist.
meeting.
He's
And then in the
spreading
middle, I had
germs.
one of those wheat check things.
Right.
And like a thing got caught in my throat. It's one of those
Dude,
weird
you were
things.
coughing for an hour.
It wasn't an hour.
Yeah. It was an hour. I'm neurotic, I know.
I promise you that I was not sick at your house. It was one of those things where it got caught because it was fine.
I want him in on the meetings because he understands shit. I guess.
You think he
Yeah, I think he does. But he's sitting there and he's like, and I know he has a cold or something because he's like, ugh, but not a dry cough.
All winter long, he has issues because of the dryness.
No, but he has a hack.
I had some. I know what happened.
He's got a phlegm in him.
But that's what I'm saying. He always is gunked up.
Yeah.
Because of the dry heat and
But he
all of that
claims
stuff.
he's never sick.
And then when
I told you I was sick last week.
Listen to it. There it is.
That's what I'm saying. Then when something rattles it, it all starts moving around.
He was sick for a day, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
I was sick
claim
for
he's
2
sick.
days.
Are you better?
I'm better.
And what was that going on in my apartment?
I told you I had the fucking wheat check thing, and it just got caught in
For
my
an
throat.
hour it was caught in your
It
throat?
wasn't an hour. It wasn't an hour.
He's so gross. In a meeting, I'm trying to concentrate, and all I can think about is...
You know what? You don't do this
He's
to
sick.
anybody but me. You
No,
just,
you're the only one doing that.
Bullshit.
Don was fine.
No, I get that, but it's
David Height was fine. Tim was fine.
Were they all looking at Gary while he
They heard.
yacked
I
and
bet you they were.
coughed
No,
and-
Howard's one of those guys. Howard hears a noise. You know, like in the movies when it's hyper. You know, it's
Robin, every 2 minutes was this hacky, phlegmy
for
thing.
like 10 minutes. No, not for the whole time. For like 10
You
minutes.
sound like you have fucking tuberculosis.
But
Anyway.
Black lung.
what I'm just
Meanwhile, thank God for him because I got so annoyed at this meeting.
Really?
It was going up to 2 hours. I stood up. I go, that's it. I'm done.
Meeting over.
I start yelling. I don't want to be in any meetings like this anymore.
Get outta
This is
here.
not what I got in radio
He threw
for.
us out. He really did. I mean, he didn't say get the fuck out of my house like he was mad at us.
I threw them all out.
He was mad in general, and he's like, Get out. It's done.
Yeah.
So we all slithered out.
One of these, I can't wait for the play.
All I know is they were telling me shit that goes on here. I got so fucking crazy. There's a couple of
Really?
people going to get a talking to today.
What's going on here?
Don't fucking ask me. I'm on fire. So I stood up and I said, that's it. Everybody out.
You know, Robin, it was a lot like
Get
that
outta
scene in
here.
Larry Sanders where he goes, I want to be out of the loop. I'm
Yeah.
fucking done.
That's
Get
what
me
I
out.
said. I said, guys, this is crazy. I didn't get into radio to be a manager.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there listening to budgets and management ideas. And I'm like, I said, I can give you creative ideas. You guys go fucking take care of it. It's just 2 hours I could have been reading the newspaper for tomorrow's show.
Right.
God damn it.
Get
out. But he said that, too. He goes, that's it. He goes, 2 hours of my life I want back. I could be reading the fucking paper for the show. Get out.
Well, that's it. And he's Fleming all over the place.
That didn't help.
Oh, you know what it is? In my apartment, I built a little office for myself where people
Yeah.
could sit and meet. I thought that'll be so cool. Now, I haven't had many meetings there because who wants people in my apartment, disgusting people with their dirty shoes and everything?
This is what you think of after
Yeah.
you have this thought that you want to have meetings.
So I had the meeting, and I know I'm never having a meeting in there again.
By the way,
Yeah.
one thing about that, if I can make a suggestion, it was really hot in there yesterday.
Because Don complained the last time we had a meeting that it was too cold.
Even Beth walked in and she goes, my God, why is it so hot in
So
here?
Beth knows how to work the heat. Fucking lower.
But it's not up to her to walk into a meeting
What
and
did you
change.
do? Did you jack the temperature up to 90
No,
or
it's the way I keep it. I like it warm.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you? You are old.
Yeah, I am.
Good Lord.
I felt like I was in Pompano Beach.
But anyway,
With
getting
Jesus.
back to the smoothies, you have to be really careful. That's one of those things like people say,
Yeah.
oh, I eat yogurt, and it turns out it's all fattening.
Right.
You
So
gotta be-
here's what they put in it. Listen to this. Here's one. Green Magic. Like real green drink. Green Magic. Orange juice, pineapple, basil, avocado, strawberries, all in a shake. Now,
Oh, God.
no good?
No,
Oh, God. Look at that shit you drink. Why? No good?
It's all juices, which you
Oh.
know is sugar.
Well, what can I put? What could I do? I mean, I got nothing to eat. I'm hungry. I just want to drink something or have some soup, and that'll be it. That'll be my lunch. I don't know. Yeah, I give up. I forget
The
it.
soup you said with the beans, I think you would like.
All right, get me that soup with the beans.
What?
What?
Huh?
Why do you ask me to look at these menus and then you act like you're a stranger?
Soup with beans?
Yeah, look.
It was a
says here.
cannelloni something or other.
Look.
Okay.
Right here it says vegetable and navy bean.
Yeah, navy
All right.
beans.
Turkey chili, add $1.
You got it.
Or organic split pea. That sounds good.
Time.
So give me the garden vegetable for lunch today.
Today?
No, not garden vegetable, the vegetable and navy bean.
We'll do our best today. So
Oh, you see what I mean? I can't get it. I'm the only guy who can't get it.
I don't know what to tell you. We got to talk to the manager. She's not in till after the show.
Forget it.
No,
I don't
no.
wanna
We're
eat.
gonna make it happen. I don't want to say no to you.
Yeah, here's these menus. Find out what's in these smoothies. Do a full investigation. Get back to me. I have a whole staff and I can't get lunch.
Time.
I want to make a suggestion to you. You know, once you said you would consider a vegetarian option.
Yes. Where is it?
Remember my friend Joy who
Yeah, where
runs
is she?
Candle 79? I'm sure she'd be willing to make you a lunch that was here
The vegetables?
at 8:30, like a vegetable wrap.
Oh, I don't want that.
You don't?
No. I don't want a wrap. I don't want bread.
Okay, something without vegetables then.
Plain vegetables, no bread? Where's that Guatemalan shit soup I saw a picture of? I'll eat that. I'm hungry. I can't get
It was
anything.
filling.
I bet.
You wanted me to talk to Joy and see what she could do for you?
Yeah.
Because she could do any number of things.
All right, ask her what she's got in mind.
All right.
Please,
Because
I'm
she
begging
used
you.
to fix some food
Ask if
for
she
you.
could do a healthy kind of drink.
Oh, she can
smoothie.
definitely do that.
You know, I don't want to be shitting my brains out though all day with that drink of yours. I see what goes on.
If I fixed you up, boy, you wouldn't be
Yeah.
holding on to railings as you walk.
You think? I'd get my balance back.
Turkey chili.
Man, look at that thing. It looks like that's a big pot of chili.
No, there's just some bread in there.
All right, well, I was able to get something. Now they had that ready?
For you.
For me. King of all media.
They're good guys over there. Oh, they brought the wrap too? I'll give you a wrap too. In case you want that too.
I would give that wrap. Hey, whoa. Don't give that wrap with you. You tried the turkey chili.
You know, there's a reason you're the producer. I feel bad I threw you out of my
You might
apartment.
take one bite and go.
I bet you were thrilled I threw you out of the apartment, right? It was enough already.
I was getting a little hot.
I didn't know you were that hot.
Romano. There seems to finally be some resolution with today's lunch.
No, there's resolution for a day.
Well, he seemed to really like the turkey chili.
He liked the turkey chili. Tomorrow maybe he hates the turkey chili. Maybe he wants a sandwich. Maybe he wants a salad.
Right, thank you.
The man wants some variety, which I completely understand. You don't want to eat the same thing every day, you know. So this happens periodically. I deal with this. You know, we try and get him a new menu. He gets tired of the menu. We go somewhere else.
I've always learned.
It's 8:30 in the morning. It's what, 8:20 right now. People don't make breakfast or lunch at this hour, so it's just difficult.
First of all, you're not giving him any ratings.
It's
have a meter attached.
it's just tough because you know.
TV ratings now.
Well, he's a picky eater.
He's a picky eater, and somehow I've become responsible for what he eats.
I don't know how that works. Like if you.
Which I don't mind because it is important to him. It is very important, probably more important than any of the stupid things I do around here. But you know, is that why I went to Syracuse University? Is to become a lunch guy?
No, but when you've been given an opportunity such as working for the show, you do what the boss asks you to do.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that involves interviewing high-profile guests, and sometimes that involves being a lunch runner. I mean,
and sadly enough, being the lunch runner is way more important to Howard than any dumb pre-interview I do. It's the truth.
Hey, you got to keep the boss happy by any means necessary.
Anything for my boss.
Now, are you hoping that a listener or a restaurateur that's a fan will come through in the clutch and offer some sort of gourmet meal?
At least send us a menu, please. You know, and it's not for Howard.
Okay.
But do they
It's for
have
somebody else up here.
check your DVR to see what you're taking?
So, yeah, that's my next step. We're going to have to taste all the food to make sure it doesn't kill them. You know, like the kings in England used to have a food tester to make sure they wouldn't die. They weren't poisoned, so that's my next step.
But a temporary solution for now. You can get by on the turkey chili for a few days.
Turkey chili probably bought me another week. As long as it stays cold and shitty outside, I think turkey chili is a good hearty meal. So, beyond that, I don't know.
Godspeed, merman.
Thank you.
You're in Howard's apartment yesterday. You're having a meeting.
Yes, I was.
Do you have any idea that this little throat clearing or this little?
Yeah, no, I totally had an idea because I was, you know, coughing and I kept drinking water, and he goes, "Are you okay, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just got something caught in my throat."
But did you know he was going to bring it up again today?
Yeah, I had a pretty good idea he would. I could tell once he brought it up in the meeting. I had a feeling he'd bring it up today. There's no guest today.
Right. So any little thing that might have happened.
He might have noticed that I trimmed my left pinky nail in an odd sort of octagonal shape.
But he's ripped on, you know, the phlegmy sound in your voice before, especially when you were a smoker.
That was a long time ago.
But he did say he would make mentions of that you're constantly clearing your throat and.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to deny I have some issues from time to time. I think a lot of them are created by nerves being around him.
Mm-hmm.
I find that I don't have those issues except when I'm in there with him in the morning, and I start thinking about it when I'm in the car and all that other stuff. But I have been sick. Yesterday, that just wasn't what it was.
And he's someone who's extremely paranoid about being around, you know, any type of sickness.
Yes,
like the other day, you were wearing a mask,
right.
And so that just all contributes to one big, you know, perfect storm of blame against you, I guess.
Well, that's his problem, not mine. I don't blame him for anything.
But going the other way, it sort of fulfills itself because then it becomes more psychosomatic for you. Like you're going to be constantly thinking about it, and therefore clearing your throat more, and the whole thing just becomes.
So
a big
in other
cycle.
words, you say basically Howard's making himself sick by focusing on me, making me crazy, and then giving it back to him.
Exactly.
He's nuts. Steven Tyler's guy said, "Hey, Steve was great. Steve's on Twitter now. Could you mention his Twitter address?"
I got to get on Twitter. I want to follow people.
You should.
Can I set up an account for you? Yeah, but I want to be. Don't I want my name?
It might be taken.
How do you think I should do it?
Should go in he says, look at his. I am Stephen T or something like that. Should go and see if Howard Stern's taken. I'm going to bet the farm
But
it
I
is.
guarantee I could call them or have Jeff call them.
I actually have emailed the guy, the owner, several times. I emailed him and he's taken care of. He took a guy down that was a fake me and he took down somebody that was a
He's
fake.
probably interested in having the real
fake
people. Like, how come Steve Martin has Steve Martin?
He
doesn't.
He does?
Steve Martin to go.
Yeah.
You know what?
Because Steve Martin's a comic.
Yeah, they probably don't do it if the person's legitimately, because that would be kind of
right.
A lot of
but
people.
I think I saw that yours might have even said it's being held for you. I think
Really? I think Howard K. Stern has it.
Yeah, right. So, would you check into it, Jason?
Yeah.
Or I know Jeff could do it, maybe.
Well, check and see if Howard Stern's taken.
Because I would like to. But will that mean people somehow can bother me?
Yes.
But I'm not going to Twitter. I just want to follow people.
Right.
But if you just want to follow, you should use a fake name, then you wouldn't.
Right. Right. If you just want to follow,
Yeah, if you
just
just
go
wanna
on.
follow, use a fake
Go on as your.
Well, what if I want to Twitter something? What if I get inspired?
Then get the name. Why don't you start with the fake name and then see if the real name, and you can hold that too.
And who do you follow on that?
I follow a bunch of people, but
like Steve Martin, I would follow.
Steve Martin, I follow a bunch of sports guys.
News.
You know who's worth following? Brie Olson.
20 seconds, Howard.
Yeah, she's good. Oh my God, it's absurd the stuff she writes on there. I need to be fucked.
I would follow.
Roger Ebert's a great person.
Ebert's a good one.
He's great.
Yeah. There's a couple of comedians that I follow.
Roper's a good one, actually.
You follow Robin. That's
no,
fucking
you
funny.
don't. She's a horrible Twitter.
No, but it's good material for the show.
This is a good topic. All right, so
I'll make a list for you, and I'll check out the names.
It says yours has been suspended, so someone probably did it. You as fake, and now they're probably just like locked it up.
Once it's suspended, you can never get it back.
No, they probably could for
Let me get
Howard.
my name.
Hillary Schuff works with Twitter. Like she's, she has direct contact there, so
Okay.
I'll talk to her about
All
it.
right, and then I would follow someone.
Okay. I'll put a list together for you.
And someone will follow you.
Now with my new Android phone, I get updates on everything. So I'm going to get a Twitter account.
Uh-huh. Oh, good.
So-
People have been asking me, get Howard on Twitter.
I'm going to get on Twitter. Jason's going to sign me up today, and then but I'm only going to follow people at first.
Oh, that's so silly.
Yeah. So I said, who should I? First of all, I got this letter from Steven Tyler's people saying, thank you for having Steven on the other day. It was a lot of fun. Can you let everyone know that Steven has started tweeting? This is what got me thinking. His name is, I guess he doesn't own his own name. I am Stephen T. His account is I am Stephen T.
Okay. I'm going to follow him.
Yeah, and I said to myself, I'd like to see what Steven Tyler has to say. He's a very witty gentleman.
And is he Stephen with a V or a PH?
V. And so I was like, and plus with my phone, I have a widget that I just get notified whenever somebody
Mentions you?
or not mentions me, but tweets.
Oh,
You
okay.
know. So I said, well, I heard Steve Martin's a real good tweeter. I would follow
Yes.
him and Steven Tyler. And then I said to the guys, who else am I going to follow?
Well, Joan Rivers, Lisa Lampanelli.
One of the guys said Roger Ebert is the best tweeter.
He is amazing. He's always on there, and he's got good information, yeah.
So I'm gonna get in on that and see what's
If
happening.
you want the inane, Paris Hilton.
Does she have a tweet?
Yeah.
But does she write it or does some idiot write it for her?
Sometimes I think it's her, because
Oh.
it's like, I'm going to go to sleep now. Naps are so much fun. Naps are great.
They are great. She's right. I need to read that. I've been feeling bad about napping. No kidding, yeah. She says naps are great, huh?
Yeah. That's one of the things I read.
Right.
Yoko Ono, I love to follow because she's always sort of announcing something or saying, one of her crazy love things.
And how do you know who to follow? Is there a list of everyone that you can pick from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might follow that because I like on my phone that it pops up. Yeah, I'm digging my phone. Very involved with it.
Really?
Yeah, very involved with this phone. Don't ask. A day and night with the phone. It's my whole new life.
You don't get frustrated every time you try one of these new things.
Yeah, this is a lot to handle. I mean, the camera now is frustrating me and the way it interacts with the email, but nevertheless, I'm involved with it constantly.
Because I started trying some of these new apps, and then I get them, and I'm like, I don't know how to use it.
Right.
I downloaded it, now I don't know how to use it.
What do you want, JD?
I had someone you can follow on Twitter.
Who?
There's someone that...
Well, everyone... I go, hey, maybe I'll follow Robin. And a couple of guys who will remain nameless said, Robin's the worst tweeter.
I don't care what you say.
I go, well, I'm going to follow. They go, what does she tweet about, I asked. Her vegetables. I said, oh, okay, I get it.
I tweet about my cats. I
You
tweet
do?
about a lot of different things.
I'll
I was
follow
tweeting
you.
about tennis the other day. I was tweeting about football.
Is it nonsense or you got something good to say?
No, sometimes it depends. But lots of people were following the progress of my cat, so I was, tweeting about Leroy Brown and...
All right, I'll follow you.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow you.
Put pictures on there of them.
But I will delete you if you disappoint me.
Go ahead.
Unfollow.
I will unfollow.
Did you stop following me, JD?
No, I haven't. You don't even follow me, so...
I don't?
No, you don't.
I should.
I would follow JD.
I
know
want
why?
to follow JD. I see some of your tweets
I'm
sometimes.
pretty witty on there.
I saw Social Network. It was okay.
JD is...
I saw King's Speech. It was all right.
Oh, do you follow him?
No.
Yeah. Do you
But I
have Twitter?
imagine that's what it sounds like.
Do you have it, Fred?
No, I don't.
No.
Why
I probably
aren't you
I
on
probably should
Twitter?
get into it.
You know what, Fred? You should have a Twitter account because
Yes.
everyone wants to hear what you're
Yes.
thinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think you should.
Everyone would be locked in with bated breath or finger.
Well,
there's a guy.
I would follow JD because I've read him on Facebook, and
Is he
actually,
good?
he's way more articulate when he writes than when he
might
speaks.
be one of those kind of guys that's better literally.
Like he turned me on to the Big Mama's House 3, the trailer, and I loved it.
And John Hines said that he turned him on to a really good movie the other day, which I don't know what the name of it was.
Maybe Shattered Glass.
That's it.
I like Shattered Glass.
Shattered Glass is good.
He turned me on to a great movie. I only watched the trailer, and I know it's going to be great. It's called I Think We're Alone Now. It's a documentary about Tiffany's stalkers.
I have a documentary.
Lord.
I know I'm alone now. It's my life.
Yeah, anything with alone, JD watches because he can relate to it.
Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Home Alone 3, Home Alone 3D.
Gary, does your Twitter account get hacked every week?
It got hacked a couple of times, but I think I got it fixed.
How do they do that?
I think I figured it out. I have when you want to put up a picture, it's not so easy. So there's a thing called TwitPic.
Yeah.
And I think they were hacking through that, so I just shut that down. I think I'm fine now.
Oh.
But it kept putting up this stupid diet. It said, hey, guess what? I lost 8 pounds in 7 days, and you can too. And then I had a website, and I kept saying it's not me, and then people were complaining that they were getting ripped off. People were being goofy.
There's a couple people you can follow that you might like. There's one called Sexy Candids.
Hey, someone told me Brie Olson's good to follow.
Yeah, well, she just posts like dirty shit, like, I want a guy to just come inside me and use me like a whore.
I don't want that. I don't want
No,
that.
you know the people that Kanye West, a lot of people like to follow because he says ridiculous things. Who is the other one that everybody? 50 Cent. Sometimes you see him getting, like he'll be talking to girls, asking them to do certain things, and you see him commenting on what the girls are doing for him.
Wow. See, I don't care about that.
I find him interesting.
So here, Gary gave me a list. Like Bill Maher, I would follow. I like him.
Yeah, I'm not following Bill Maher yet. I would do that.
Conan O'Brien, I'd follow.
I follow him.
Is he good?
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan, I'd follow.
Definitely. I don't follow Tracy.
Does he even tweet?
It says here he does. See, Joan Rivers, Steve Martin, Gilbert Gottfried, I'd follow.
Joan Rivers is funny. She was always saying funny stuff.
Gary Shanley, but it says here he never Twitters. So
Yeah.
then what's the point of following him?
Exactly. That's why I don't follow Tracy Morgan. I don't think he Twitters that much.
Really?
Roger Ebert, everyone said is the best.
Yeah.
John Stamos Twitters?
He's on there.
He don't Twitter the truth, though. What's going on for real?
Right. He doesn't tell you what's really going on.
He's trolling. Yeah. John Favreau, I'd follow him.
I think I follow him.
Let's see here. People from work. Gary Delabate. Ralph, evidently,
Is he on? I didn't know that.
with that Geek Time stuff.
John Hine, I think, is on.
Steve Brandano.
Lisa Jisms. Oh, that's Lisa.
Lisa's-
Lisa
yeah,
G is.
the
Oh, Lisa. Oh,
G-isms.
I thought it was Lisa Jisms.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Page 2. So Benji, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, first of all, everyone thinks he took an Ambien and then was walking around being weird. So,
Which would be like the second time.
bumping into walls and everything. But in Blue, he went and asked. This is cut down from 5 minutes. He asked Lisa G out on a date, and she sort of agreed in a weird way.
But Lise,
He wanted to Skype with me. That's how it started.
Listen, I don't know what you kids call it these days, but get a couple drinks in her first.
I'm not gonna, if it's not what you want, it's fine. But I would love to take you out on a date if you'd like to come on a date, a real date. And if it's not going well, you can bail at any time.
No, I would never do that. Oh, you mean like have my girlfriend call me on the phone, go, oh, I gotta go, there's a cat emergency?
Start with a short 15-minute, 20
Howard, you got it, whey protein.
And then if you want to hang out more, we'll hang out more.
He doesn't.
He's high. He may not remember he did it. He banged it.
I think I'm married.
Hey, did you take an Ambien at work yesterday, Benji? Because everyone said you were high as a fucking kite. What was all that? What was that about? Why are you doing that?
I don't
Is that for
usually do
attention?
that. Yeah.
Is that what happened? Because everyone said you were wrecked.
I was just trying to get attention.
Oh. Yeah, he was like walking into he takes Ambien here and he goes, I want it to kick in by the time I get home, and it's like it's a shtick now. He's walking around all high, and then he asked Lisa G out on a date for real.
For real? What do you mean?
Yeah, I got it on tape if you want to hear it. Were you for real on this?
I was for real, but I was also having fun. So it's kind of a combination, I guess.
But Lise,
And what's this Lise? Like Rob and Lise? Is that your move?
Yeah.
It's cool. It sounds so fucked up. I can't even tell you.
Lise.
Like when he goes Rob.
I like saying Rob.
No, yeah, good.
Try, say
well,
it.
Robin doesn't like it. No, fuck off.
Look, you would like it.
You're an asshole.
Try it.
Rob.
You're doing it.
I'm doing like Rob.
It's nice. It's a fun way to feel.
Her name's Lisa. What is it?
He's a weirdo, dude. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
He is a friggin' weirdo.
What'd he do?
That girl yesterday when she was here.
Yeah.
So when we went.
Casey?
Yeah. When you went to commercial break, he came out in the hallway and he was just standing there like he does this a lot too. He'll just stare at people.
Yeah.
He'll stare at.
He does that to me.
He'll stare at
We
the
had a
guest.
staff meeting yesterday. He starts staring at me like I'm a woman.
Well, then he was high, right?
But yesterday it was
know.
like really weird because he was like just standing there in the corner. And he was just staring at this girl like she was like from outer space.
Well, I've seen him do that before. Anytime he thinks one of the guests is hot,
Yeah.
and he might be able to get him,
Yeah, he
goes out there when they're doing that post-interview,
Yeah.
and tries to get into the interview somehow to get a chance to talk to them personally.
like Bradshaw. Yeah, but usually he'll start talking to them.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday he wasn't talking; he was just standing there,
Yeah, because
like
he
a
thinks he's
statue.
because he thinks he's hot, and like the girls are going to go for him.
It was so funny, man.
Yeah, well, here he is with Lisa G on his Ambien. When did you take the Ambien? Because I saw you in a staff meeting. You were fine.
It was about an hour after that.
Oh, okay. What do you do here all day?
Yesterday, I was just at the staff meeting. I had to. I just sent in some quick things for Gary coming up.
Why were you staring at me during the staff meeting? It was weird. Remember, I looked over you and I said, "Can you stop?" Remember, I was just kind of like, "Okay, man." You were like gazing at me.
Really?
Yeah, it was creepy.
Like boring
you
a
did that?
hole into you with his
maybe-
eyes?
You know what? That might have been when we had that bad chair that fell back.
Yeah.
That might have been when I fell back on the chair. Maybe.
No.
Maybe, I don't know.
chair lash.
I mean, I like looking at you, but I don't think I stare at you.
You usually leave right after the wrap-up show. Why did you stay around all day?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, I had to talk to Tim and I had to do some stuff here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was another thing because he was waiting for Tim. So every time, like he'd go, "Is Howard's meeting over? Is Tim out yet?" And then he'd go to Gary's office looking for Gary. Is Gary in there? No, I see Gary's in the green room. He's in a meeting with somebody. Oh, okay. And then he starts wandering around.
Yeah, there's nothing
and
to
then he
do.
comes, he goes, "Is Howard in the studio?" I go, "No, Howard's in the bathroom in the studio." He goes, Oh. And then
Because I thought I had to go back in the studio, and I thought you might be having a meeting, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, here he is
That's
doing.
really weird.
You're weird, man.
Here he is with Lisa G.
I love you, Benji, man. You're weird.
High as a kite.
But Lise,
He wanted to Skype with me. That's how it started.
Listen, I don't know what you kids call it these days,
That's
but
truly-
get a couple drinks in her first.
I'm not gonna, if it's not what you want, it's fine. But I would love to take you out on a date if you'd like to come on a date, a real date. And if it's not going well, you can bail at any time.
Ew, I would never do that. Oh, you mean like have my girlfriend call me on the phone, go, "Oh, I gotta go, there's a cat
We can
emergency"?
even start with a short 15-minute, 20-minute meet for drinks, and then if you want to hang out more, we'll hang out more.
He doesn't look high to you right now?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, come on.
He looks like a guy who's asking to chick out.
Yeah, hi.
Lise,
You're on Ambien, you're on something. I know you are. I know you. What did you take?
you're avoiding.
You are avoiding, Lisa. Here's the
said-
question on the table. Will you go out for drinks and possibly dinner with Benji, is what he's asking.
As a date.
As a date.
I will go out with Benji if there are other people around. No,
Now I want to do a real date.
Why wouldn't you do it alone?
because I like Benji as a friend and a coworker.
Right.
And I think he would be better with someone younger.
I really would like to take you on a date. Seriously. We have a nice connection.
We do.
What about trying the group date first and then seeing
Possibly
seeing
leads
if
to-
it leads to a real date?
I would do that if that was the intention.
Okay. What can we agree that you guys put together a group date, and if that goes well, you'll give them a one-on-one date?
Yeah.
All right.
And you'll treat it seriously?
Yeah, sure.
And you'll treat it seriously?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Lisa was being very diplomatic. It's her way of saying Benji is fat and ugly, and I don't want to go out with him.
Oh, what's funny, she says he'd be better off with somebody younger. I don't think there's that much age difference between Benji.
That's the weird thing.
You don't think so?
No. Hey, Lisa, who's doing the news thing
It
here?
might be Steve today. I'm
All
not
right.
sure. Oh, it's
Oh,
Lisa.
it's Lisa. You would never. Would you ever look at him seriously in a romance? Do you think?
No.
No.
We're so opposite.
Right.
But if he got you alone, see, this is what he does.
Right.
He wears women down.
That's
No
my
kidding.
secret. That's my secret.
I may be fat, but there's a thin man inside.
I get them alone and talk to them. That's my secret.
Yeah, well, that's a good secret.
Don't
Keep it to
scream or I'll
yourself.
stab you.
Right.
I'm on time. He's late. I love to be organized. He's a mess.
But you're not physically attracted to him, I think. I mean, bottom line, I mean, I think you could put up with a lot if you're physically attracted to a guy.
But has anybody ever been physically attracted
yeah.
to Benji?
Yeah, I mean, he gets girls.
Yeah, but that's
Sarah.
what I'm saying. He
Right.
wears them down. He stays
Right.
around until they can't avoid him.
I don't know what his secret is, but he does get women.
Ask Gary the note he got the other day.
What?
From who?
You know what? There was a couple came to the wrap-up show where the girl was really cute.
Yeah.
And the guy sent me a note afterwards. He's like, thanks for having us. By the way, he goes, I never understood Benji, but my girlfriend thought he was really, really cute.
Yeah, notice it's his girlfriend who doesn't have to go out with Benji. You know.
The girl from last year's Christmas party,
Yeah.
she said that Benji kept coming around and hanging around
And wouldn't leave
until
her alone.
she finally slept with him.
What are you talking about?
Is that your plan with Lisa, just to keep nudging her?
No, I was just fucking around. I was having fun, and I thought we were all having fun.
But you're attracted to her. I mean, you'd like
Do
to
I
go out
find
with her.
her attractive?
Yeah.
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 And you were sort of serious if she would go for it.
I sort of serious, but also a show thing. Do I think we?
You guys could be fuck buddies.
Yeah, I'd be a fuck buddy with Lisa if she wants to be.
Right.
Let's see, I have half hour to kill.
Lisa,
What'd
if you
say?
have real deep needs for a
Yeah,
man, then
you
he
know.
can fill them for you.
No strings attached. He's your Ashton Kutcher.
We can do it once a week too. Start with that and see how it works.
Right, thank you.
Why don't you start this way? You have sex, see how it goes, and then you'll
Yeah,
make
we
more.
won't even commit.
Why
to
don't
once
you
a
do
week.
it instead?
I'm
busy.
I'm available at noon
Start without you?
today.
But Robin, that girl didn't say that.
What?
You said
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she told us that on the show. She said that you just kept hanging around and she finally just had sex with you.
You came to her house and wouldn't leave.
Oh, okay. You're talking about a year ago. I thought you said the last Christmas.
No, I meant last year.
No, that was a different victim.
So, Lisa,
Yes.
when Benji attempted to sort of ask you out yesterday, you believe he was intoxicated or on some sort of he was medicated in some sort of
Yeah,
way?
definitely.
What gave that away physically? Were his pupils dilated? Were his...
His eyes were half shut. He was stumbling. He was mumbling. Yeah.
You don't think it
could
was
even
part
ask
of...
Steve. Steve was here. He saw the whole thing.
Steve, he seems sedated, to say the least.
I don't know. I couldn't tell whether it was just an extreme case of shtikoma, but it was very entertaining.
And that lessened how sincerely you welcomed his advances, Lisa.
Yeah.
Because you thought
I mean,
he
who
thought
could
he was
take him seriously?
You thought he was doped up.
You know, it gets you thinking, like, how do these girls say yes to him and then sleep with him?
Was
Like,
Ro-
what is he doing?
Is Robin right that he wears you down? Is he wearing you down right now?
No, he's not wearing me down. He's becoming a pest.
But like I was saying to you earlier, you could just, if you really truly didn't want,
Yeah, I know
anything to do with Benji, you could just
but,
cut him off.
But he's nice and he's a coworker. I'm not going to say, get out of my face, you asshole. I'm not going to say that.
He's harmless.
Yeah.
Cute in a way, I feel like you
he's
feel.
nice. He's smart. There's so many good qualities about him. But then he's got those real irritating ones. And then you don't see the nice qualities. So, yeah, that was happening yesterday. He wouldn't leave. He wouldn't leave.
Now, let's say you guys actually make this group date happen
Yeah.
somewhere down the road. And things go well. You see the charming side of Benji is out. He's cute. He's funny. He's whimsical. Any chance of a follow-up one-on-one?
I don't think so, because I can just imagine going back to his apartment and it's a mess. It's like hoarders. That I'd throw up. That would make me sick. I wouldn't even be able to get naked. I don't know how women get naked for him in a place that's, if he lives in a pigsty. Ew.
So, are you saying that if he cleaned up his apartment, you'd...
Oh, you'd have to start being on time, clean up his apartment. I'd have to change him. Who has time for that? We're so opposite.
But there's that little crack of the window is open.
Whose crack?
Well.
Yeah, the crack of his ass.
No, it just seems like there's that little window of hope is slightly open. You're not giving him a no. You're saying there's a chance.
I didn't say there's a chance. I said I'd go out on a group thing together.
Maybe Benji cleans up his act. He becomes a little more responsible. Holds on to some of those charming qualities at the same time.
And you think that's going to happen? He was voted almost the most crazy, right?
I don't know.
Oh,
I see a change from Lisa G to Lisa B in the near future. Benj, was there any chance that you were a little bit medicated yesterday with Lisa? Lisa and Langford both tend to think that you were.
I said I was.
For real though, you were on Ambien?
No, I took one Ambien. I was gonna go home and go to sleep. You all right?
So that's the there was no.
Huh?
But as far so let me get to my next
I'll take
question.
a blood test.
So
I'll be happy to take a blood test.
Benji, as far as a relationship between you and Lisa G, were you serious? Are you serious with your advances, or is it?
I gotta go back.
Okay, I'll get
serious,
you afterwards.
I was fucking around, but I was having fun with it. Do you know what I mean? I was being a little flirty, but I was more joking around than being serious.
Are you gonna keep joking with her like this, or do you really ultimately want to get in her pants?
Yeah, I would love to fuck her, but that has nothing to do with this. I mean, but it's not. Listen, she's a cute girl, but she's not that special that I want to fuck her. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of cute girls I want to fuck.
She's not at the top of your to-do list.
No. Of the girls that you guys know that work on the show, maybe she's in the top 3 or so.
Well, in a male-dominated staff.
Now she's cute. She has a nice body, but no, I don't dwell on that too much.
Are you going to keep pressing like Robin says you tend to do, or that you wear down women with your advances?
I think I'll try to rub against her in the hallway and stuff. You know, try to walk by her.
See if friction leads to something more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Benj.
No, I'm not gonna do anything.
I want
She's asked me out before.
It's true. I want to see this happen.
Yeah.
This way, in here?
Yes. Sorry. So you're going on the offensive?
I think it's the only way. Attack, and then if I go down sailing, well, you know, at least I tried.
I mean, what happened? Because I
thought I was his best friend, seriously.
I thought the interview went extremely well.
It went great. He seemed to really like it. I met him at the basketball. We got on great. Next thing I know, he's dumping all over me on his show. So you have to ask how. Something's gone horribly wrong.
Well, hopefully we can clear things up.
I hope we can.
All right. Good luck today, Pierce.
Thanks, mate. Nice to see you guys again.
Good to see you, too.
Piers Morgan is here. He seems to have set up some sort of rivalry with me. He even emailed me last night and said he wanted to play me chess on the radio.
Oh, jeez.
He's feeling very competitive with me.
He's got to beat you at something.
There you are.
So ridiculous, though.
By the way, I like your relaxed look with the jeans.
Yeah, I was
Thank
like,
you.
this is a different look.
I was just dressing down for you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Acceptable face of serious over there.
Piers, how are you? Good to see you. Piers, will you ever wear this casual look on your show?
I might do. Next time you come on, because I felt severely overdressed when you came on before.
Well, I actually dressed up for your show. I wore a suit and that kind of thing.
No, you were. I mean, I thought we were great friends after that, but things went horribly wrong suddenly.
But I don't
your
think
side,
on your
though.
side. No,
you started the attack.
Piers, listen to me. Let me clear this up first of all. I told you after the interview I like you.
You did.
I thought the premise of the interview, though, the thing that you were trying to set up before the interview was that you and I were at each other's throats, and that you are the new king of all media. And the only point I was trying to say is I think you're setting yourself up for some sort of weird criticism. Not from me, but from the press, because you're putting all this pressure on yourself. You're claiming you're the king of all media, and I get it. You're being boisterous. You're being grandiose. But at the same point, then the ratings come out, and then people are looking at you and then bashing you and saying you're not the king of all media. And I even said to you,
Yeah, but hang on, it is early days, Hal. I've only been doing it 3 weeks.
I know, but I said to you.
I've arrived as, in your eyes, the prince of all media. I would simply say to you, my show, as I've tried to explain to you, airs in 220 countries to 350 million people. You barely touch the sides of this kind of audience. So I've come here to say to you, Howard, hand over the throne.
Piers, listen to me.
I'm taking you down, old man.
CNN.
Just hand it over.
CNN
There's
reaches...
a new king in this city.
CNN reaches 350 million people.
It has
You
the
don't.
potential.
You're reaching 3 people. You lost the other hundreds of millions. But Piers, listen to me. I know you're having a good time, but take my advice.
Go on.
Don't look to compete with me. You don't compete with me. You just got to
I like competing with you. It's funny.
You're competing with Sean Hannity on Fox.
Yeah.
If you beat him, then you'll come after me.
I agree with that. By the way, I totally agree with you.
And you're talking to a guy.
Competing with you is funny, though.
No, but listen to me.
It's like now you just joined Twitter because you just couldn't resist trying to get into my action.
No, I feel like you are getting into my action. You tweeted about me all day. I didn't tweet about you at all.
I taunt you on Twitter all day, and the very next day you joined Twitter. I'm doing the maths here, Howard. But you're worried.
But listen to me.
You're worried about me.
Listen to me.
You're thinking, who is this little Brit upstart? I've got to kill him now.
The whole time.
All your fans on Twitter today, literally on the way in, they were like, "Rip him a new one, Howard. Teach this little limey scumbag what real king of media's all about. Take him down, Howard." And I'm like, come on, then, bring it all on.
Where's that? You should be on that show.
Let me give you some advice, because I don't hate you. I don't feel a rivalry with you.
I love you, Howard. I've always loved you
since you were a judge on America's Got Talent.
I know you said that.
I thought you're terrific on America's Got Talent. By the way, I forgot to mention, I do love Howie Mandel on America's Got Talent.
He is great.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's very annoying, but he's great.
I thought it was weird that, like, when I don't even know if they aired that part of the interview, because you did quite an interview with me. When I asked you about David Hasselhoff on America's Got Talent, you backed off and said you wouldn't talk to me about it. And I thought that was weird. Why? I mean,
well, no, because it's not my job to talk about why he left that show.
He was fired. It's generally known.
Well, I don't think it is generally known, actually. And I'm not quite sure what went on. What I do know is he managed to end up getting my seat on Britain's Got Talent.
But that's a come down. I mean, being on in America.
No, it's not good for me, though, is it? Imagine, I was thinking I was going to be replaced by someone like George Clooney, and in walks the Hoff.
Yeah.
That's like that.
You were hoping.
Time to take a header off Beachy Head, as we say in England.
Are you feeling good about the new talk show? Or are you getting hammered about the ratings? Everyone's hyper focused on the ratings.
As they always say in those 007 films, not so fast, Mr. Bond, because very pleasingly, given the attention that you were drawing to the slight local difficulty we had with the Kardashian show,
yes,
ratings actually last week trebled on that figure. For most of the week, so we're actually feeling very good about the ratings.
The ratings went up when you started covering
Didn't just go up.
The Egyptian situation.
They went up 3 times. Yeah, the big news story came in, and
so you're
as
revamping.
people do.
So
well, no. I tell you what, I did I met Howard at the basketball with your lovely wife, who is absolutely lovely, and you're batting, as we say in England, way above your strength there. So congratulations.
Yes.
We're having this lovely conversation, which Howard turned the next day into this disgusting man's attempt to tell me how to do my job. Actually, all I said was, Howard, you were great for my rating. Actually, let's get back to this point.
Yeah.
Because you want to focus on ratings. Oprah Winfrey was my first show.
Yes.
Oprah got 2.1 million viewers.
Right.
You're my second guest. You got 1.2 million viewers.
Do you think I brought you down?
I'm just simply putting it out there.
Yeah, right.
Putting it out there that somebody was my second guest after the Queen of all media and lost me half my audience overnight.
Maybe it's all my fault.
That's when the rot set in. No,
that's what you think.
Luckily, Condoleezza Rice was coming around the corner.
Yeah, and she really
and
saved
suddenly
her.
things began to perk up, but for a moment it was dodgy out there.
Listen, when it's my show, I count on me. Never mind that. And this is advice I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you some advice.
You actually helped me beat Sean Hannity in the demo, and that was very important.
I heard you beat Sean Hannity for the first time.
That was the first time we'd done it, I think, in about 3 years. So I do actually, Howard, I come to thank you. And I think we should work together. I was trying to say to you, come on my show. It'll be good for you. It'll be good for me. It's good for the world.
That's not how you said it.
It's 2 kings of all media.
First
it's like
of all,
this. It's good for ratings.
Piers
I bet your ratings go up today.
Piers was saying that I chased him all over the basketball game. Now, first of all, as you notice, I was in the front row. Piers was in the third row.
Yeah, but hang on. I was in the 10th row the week before.
Yes.
This is what I mean. It's like my ratings. It's getting better all the time. Yeah.
So that proves I'm a little more successful than you, a little bit more. But Piers, one of the things I said, so I walk out of the bathroom and I see Piers, and he's talking with my wife, and he says to me...
Which instantly had to worry.
You were very lovely. You said, hey, you were great for my ratings. I want you to come on once a month. And I said, oh, thank you, this and that. And you said, it'll be good for you. I can help you. And I was just like, well, I think I'm doing pretty well on my own. I don't
You can
need
never
that.
have enough help, Pat. Don't be too arrogant about this.
Yeah, but
I think give your foreign audience. I think making you big in places like, Kuala Lumpur.
Is it true,
and
Piers?
Paris and Belgium and places where you could walk down the street and no one knows who you are. I'm trying to help.
Do you think Larry King is watching what you're doing? And when the ratings, they were publicizing that the ratings were lower than Larry's after the Kardashians. Do you think Larry King is sitting there going, you see, maybe they'll bring me back?
Well, it's funny. I got to the end of 2 weeks, so I'd had 5 new shows on air. And someone said to me, only 6,990 to go, and you've caught up with Larry King. So when people criticize Larry, I say, something? That guy did 7,000 shows in 25 years. And it is an exhausting, relentless, quite difficult job to do. You know what it's like doing these daily things. So I've got huge admiration for Larry. He's never said a bad word about me.
Right.
And I'll never say a bad word about him, because he was genuinely one of my idols when I grew up.
But the closest thing he's come to saying a bad thing, he said his number one choice to take over for him was Ryan Seacrest.
Well, that wasn't a good moment for me, I must admit.
Right. And then
I said to Larry, you've got to set the bar a bit higher than that, mate. Come on.
Is it true they offered your job on CNN to Katie Couric first? Was she the first choice?
I've no idea.
I read that somewhere, and I don't know if that's true.
All I read about Katie was she was under contract until the middle of this year, so I would think that's unlikely.
How do you think they found you for this job? I mean, whose brainstorm was
From
this?
what I heard, they just literally put an SOS out there and said, does anyone know who the new king of all media is?
And they found you.
People began writing in droves now. I think it was... I do this series called Life Stories in Britain, which is... it's an audience-based, quite lengthy interviews with big figures, and they got me the tapes in of Simon Cowell, the interview I did with him, where I made him cry, and they thought, wow, if this guy can make Simon Cowell cry...
Why did Simon Cowell cry when you interviewed him?
Because what I like to do is get into... As I did with you, funny enough, I thought the most interesting part of our interview was not anything to do with... the bragging that went on between us and the joshing and all that kind of thing. The most fascinating bit to me was when I asked you about your father.
Right.
And it was the same with Simon. And I asked you about your father, and I could tell immediately, I knew from your story how much he meant to you. But I also suspected from what you'd said before that praise was quite rare with your dad, and that you maybe have spent most of your career trying to get some form of appreciation for you as what you do as an artist. And he finally said to you one day, he'd heard one of your shows, and he finally said to you, or your film, I think it was, Private Parts, and he said, Howard, I think you're a genius. And I knew in that moment, I looked at you and I thought, that was probably one of the great moments of your life.
Yes, it was. And I was moved when I was telling you that story.
Yeah, and it was a great... And that, to me, is what interviewing is all about.
So
it's
you
not
were
about
interviewing
the banter.
The king of mean, Simon Cowell, and suddenly he broke down about his father?
Yeah, it was very poignant, because not many people would have known this, because I know Simon for so long. And, I was determined to try and show another side to him, because there is another side to him. He's underneath all the exterior. I watched last night the Super Bowl, and there he is, appearing as this cracked man rebuilt to conquer the world, and he's fantastic, all that kind of thing. But underneath it is actually a very quite sensitive guy. He's very he's incredibly hard-working. He gets quite paranoid about stuff, and he's got an emotional side to him, which people don't see very often. And there was a moment in his life when he had the best and worst of days, really. The morning started, he got his first #1 record with one of his artists, and his dad had been in the music business, so supportive of him all these years, and he rang to speak to his dad to tell him, I've got a #1, Dad.
Right.
And his mum wouldn't put the dad onto the phone, and was a bit strange. And I know his mother's a lovely lady, and it turned out the reason she couldn't do that is that his father had died that day.
Oh,
So
wow.
before Simon could actually tell his dad this incredible moment in his life, he then had to be told this was the worst day of his life. And he'd lost his mentor, his man that he loved so much. And as he told the story, I could see him getting emotional. He was never going to break down. He's not that kind of guy. But I just realised in that moment that you saw raw emotion from Simon, which you would never normally see. And I think it's wrong to say he was pleased that he was seen that way, but I think he enjoyed talking about his father in a way that I thought with you the other day that you did. That it was these things mean more to people than other people would realize.
Was CNN aware of that tape, and that's what kind of did it for them?
They
Some
saw that one.
executive saw it?
They saw that one. They then called in 3 or 4 more tapes with the British Prime Minister at the time and a few other people, and they could
But
see
who
that.
finds these tapes? I mean, is it one executive?
We know that the key thing for me in getting this job was YouTube. Because actually, the world's a small place on YouTube. If you want to check out Piers Morgan interviews, they're all there. You can just go and call them up. So a few of them began talking, and I went in for a meeting in April, and we had a great chat with them all. And then Larry wasn't leaving then, but clearly their whole prime time schedule was having ratings problems in America.
Yeah.
And CNN's a weird business because everyone talks about it as if it's some kind of failure because there's such a tension on the prime time ratings in America. But that's only about 10% of their business. CNN International remains a phenomenal news business, and their profits last week were huge. So it's kind of two worlds at CNN. But quite rightly, in America,
But don't you think they were in a panic over Fox News and all of that?
Totally. And I said to them when I came along, hey, what my honest view? You're getting your asses kicked.
Yeah.
By Fox and by MSNBC. And I said, I don't mind having Fox do it, but Rachel Maddow? Seriously? Are you going to let them just beat you to death like this?
But you see, those shows, and this is what I was trying to say to you, those shows are opinion shows. The topic changes every 5 minutes. I was concerned in the beginning. What I was trying to say to you is, don't have the Kardashians on for an hour. Okay, you can have me on, you can have Oprah on for an hour.
Howard,
sometimes you can get away with it.
I agree with you.
You do. So you're going to change it up.
We already have done. In fact, we're doing a big live show with an audience with Donald Trump on Wednesday. But the intention, by the way, was always to change it up. I mean, I think the mistake with the Kardashians was we did it on a night when Jersey Shore's on, American Idol's on, all the shows that their kind of audience probably are watching. We stick them on that night. It was just bad scheduling. But even actually, ABC, I don't mind experimenting with people like them because they're kind of cultural phenomena. I mean, when Kim Kardashian shortly passes President Obama in Twitter follow account, you and I as fellow twits are going to be going, how the hell did that happen? In itself, it's interesting. I think for a CNN audience, an hour was probably a bit long with them. And we got the ratings that decision probably warranted. But, I've no problem saying to you when we go wrong.
But maybe even have all these girls on, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, all of them on at once, and
I agree.
maybe do something like that.
I agree. And maybe do a show about Twitter, get the founder of Twitter on. Because Twitter, as you've already discovered, is fairly addictive.
It is. It's good.
You get into it.
Do you do your own Twittering? Because people were accusing me of having somebody do it for me, and I said I would never do that.
No, you have to do your own.
You do, right?
You have to, yeah.
And do you walk around all day with your Twitter?
Yes.
It's on your cell phone.
It's on my BlackBerry.
It's on your BlackBerry, and you're constantly Twittering.
Yeah.
And
I need your favour off you, Howard.
What is that?
You've come to help me. I've come to help you. I need you to tell...
No, I helped you.
No, I helped you, Howard.
All right, go ahead.
I need you to tell all your followers to follow me.
Sure, go ahead. So how do you do that?
I'm at Piers Morgan.
Your name is Piers Morgan.
Yeah, but I need you to say he's officially forgiven. We're friends again.
I never had a problem with you. That's why I thought it was funny that you were tweeting all weekend.
No, I heard some of your broadcasts last week. You were being.
Tell me what was wrong with what I said.
At best, you were being disingenuous.
Not true.
No,
what did I say that offended you?
No, it was your interpretation of when we met at the basketball. Because my recollection of that was it was an extremely civilized meeting between two recently new best friends.
Yes.
And we sat there. I met your lovely wife, and we talked in such a wonderful way about your upbringing.
But then you said to me, Howard, I'm going to help you out.
Joking,
I said that was
Howard.
That wasn't a joke.
It was a joke.
You have such. Maybe it's a confidence, but it's an overconfidence. It's an arrogance.
Oh, coming from you.
No. You're
accusing me of
But I've proven myself.
Howard Stern?
Piers, here's the difference.
Be serious.
Here's what I was trying to tell you. I have proven myself in America. I went from market to market. I did New York. I did Philly. I did L.A. Market
Howard,
to market.
You're on radio.
Yes.
I'm a TV star. It's different. There's more pressure.
You're not a star.
Too.
You're not a TV star yet.
I'm better known than you.
You're not better than me.
I am.
Then. You have to be number one.
No, in your country, you're quite well known. I'll give you that. Outside of America, no one's ever heard of you.
But no one's heard of you either.
I air in 220 countries.
But Piers, stop it.
Seriously,
do you go to bed at night thinking?
Family.
Do you go to
Get
bed?
serious.
Do you go to bed thinking that that's true?
I'm right. All right. You keep nodding and laughing, saying
you
Howard,
are
got a
known
point.
in more countries.
Thank you. It's official. Thank you. Therefore, I'm more famous.
Howard doesn't go to other countries.
Do I care?
There's a reason for that.
Do I care if you're number one in the Congo? I'm talking about the greatest market in the world, the United States of America.
I think I am number one in the Congo.
But you probably are. But to be number one in America, especially in radio, where it's 10 times more competitive even than TV.
Here's the thing. Let's be serious, Howard, about this.
Yes.
When I was young, my mother is the greatest woman in my life. My mother said to me, she sent me a postcard once. I was about 18, and I was in a miserable job in insurance, but I desperately wanted to be a journalist. journalist, and she said to me, right, I'm going to do something to make you, live your dream. And she gave me this postcard, and there was a hippopotamus flying with a flock of seagulls. And on it, the headline was, "Ambition knows no bounds."
Right.
And that was it. I went, you know what, Mother? You're right. Get rid of this insurance. Let's get into journalism. I want to be a journalist. I want to be an editor of a national newspaper. Everyone said, you're crazy.
Did you go to college for that?
I went to journalist college, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, so I did my proper training. I did my hard yards on a local newspaper.
And look what it's led to. You can get a free meal in Tanzania. That's incredible. No, but you said...
Anyway. So my point is, there's no point in me coming to a country like this.
Go back up for a second.
No, I'm coming to the point about you.
Yeah.
Right, you are the self-appointed king of all media. You weren't elected that.
I always made a joke
I know,
of that.
but the point is you gave yourself this title.
Yes.
You have no problem ideologically with awarding yourself a title king of all media. So I have no problem sharing your chilling self-confidence and saying, no, Howard, I want to be the king of all media.
No, but you have to prove it first. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not doing too badly.
Listen.
Seriously, I'm not.
No, you're having problems.
Britain's Got Talent, #1.
Right.
Right? America's Got Talent, #1.
Right.
Celebrity Apprentice took on 13 of your American friends, won it. Life Stories in Britain, #1.
You're doing well.
2 books, #1 bestsellers. And now I've come to steal your King of Media crown.
CNN
And I will not rest until I take you down.
Believe me, the crown...
But I want to stay your friend while it happens.
But the crown was a crown of shit.
I comfort you when it all goes down.
I was making fun of Michael Jackson as the king of pop.
I know you were. How seriously do you want to take this? Seriously?
Not at all. Go back for a second. CNN is paying you, I guess, between $6 and $8 million a year.
Can you inflate that slightly?
But that's what it's at now.
Just pump it up. It sounds better.
Larry King was making about $10 million a year.
So a bit of work to do. Yeah, I agree.
Right. So when you negotiate a deal for $6 to $8 million and you're on America's Got Talent, does America's Got Talent pay you a lot of money? I happen to think you're the reason America's Got Talent is good.
Well, I hope NBC are listening to this because I could not agree with you more.
But do they kind of take the attitude that, hey, you're a judge, big deal,
listen,
leave it or take it?
I've got to say, I'm incredibly grateful to NBC because when I came to America, thanks to Simon Cowell, who offered me the job on that show, they'd never heard of me.
Right.
And they were just like you, skeptical. Who is this little toe rag from Britain? Why on earth are we giving him a time of space? And I, the show became a hit, and it's become this sort of weird, quirky, fun summer examination of all things America's talent. And I love doing it. And they pay me well. All these shows get paid well.
Is it millions of dollars?
Well, look, you get paid very well.
When you say very well, and I don't want an exact figure. Is it over $1 million?
I want to make it comparative. You know the answer to that question.
The answer is yes.
Let me compare it. My brother has just got back from a 7-month tour of Afghanistan. He's a British Army colonel.
Right.
He's done 2 tours of Iraq, fighting with American troops as well, in all 3 places. He gets paid something like, I don't know, $80,000 a year. And for that, he in Afghanistan,
crazy,
7 days a week in Afghanistan, 15-hour days in 50-degree sandstorms, getting shot at, mortared, training Afghan troops.
Huh? How old is he, your brother?
He's 2 years younger than me.
And he is he's over there fighting right now.
Yeah, and he's got 4 daughters under 10. And so when everyone talks about...
Do you agree with England being in Afghanistan?
Well, I was very opposed to the Iraq War. I couldn't see any sense in it at all. It seemed to me a sort of imperialistic dash for oil, and I thought that trying to persuade people that somehow Saddam Hussein was involved with 9/11 was really ridiculous foreign policy. It was disingenuous. It was bordering on a downright lie to try and insinuate that. And I look at Iraq now, and the idea that somehow we believe we've created some free, democratic, safe society is preposterous.
Does your brother think Afghanistan is worth fighting?
He feels that it's more ideologically defensible than Iraq was.
Because of 9/11.
I think a lot of soldiers in Iraq, on both sides, when they got there and discovered that contrary to what their governments had been saying, there were no weapons of mass destruction. So the main reason for going to war with him simply didn't exist. Very dangerous territory for governments to treat their armed forces in that way. Very dangerous to say to them, this is why we're going to war. They go and risk their lives, and it turns out the reason isn't true. Afghanistan's a different thing. In Afghanistan, quite obviously, you could see that Al-Qaeda's training camps had been set up in Afghanistan and were being used in a safe environment for them where no one could see them to plot and to plan atrocities like 9/11. I totally get why we had to go into Afghanistan. The question becomes for America and Britain, how long do you stay in there?
Right.
What are we now achieving? And my brother's interesting about this because I said to him, what do you really think? He said, look, it's a very difficult situation because the Taliban retreat into the mountains, and if they think America's going to leave, they're going to wait, and then they'll come back in the moment they're gone. However, he said,
roaches.
Yeah, the big problem is this, isn't it? I don't know what you must have done this many times on here, but the whole war on terror title was such a fatuous load of nonsense. You can't win a war on terror. Armed forces need to know how they get victory. It's part of their morale building. It's part of their raison d'etre. It's like, if you're a soldier, you've got to know, what's the mission? How do I win? That's why you're risking your life for your country and for the security and the freedom and the democratic philosophy you have. When you send troops into battle on a generic title of war on terror, which can never be won, there's always going to be terror somewhere, so you can't win it, they get confused. And right now, the mission in Afghanistan is not to beat the Taliban, because it's not going to happen. The mission should be, as my brother rightly says, it should be to contain and control and dismantle Al-Qaeda as a specific terrorist organization.
Well, I mean, not to get too serious, but the real...
Yeah, because we've just solved everything.
Well, no, General Petraeus' whole idea there, and he's a brilliant general.
He's a brilliant general.
What he's thinking of doing, and what he is doing, is he is taking all the local warlords and all of the thugs, organizing them to fight the Taliban.
Yep.
He's just paying them more money than the Taliban.
But actually,
you know that'll lead to another Saddam Hussein.
Well, it could do. I think Petraeus is a genius. I think he's a military genius, and I think that Iraq could have very easily completely imploded. And I think the surge that he came up with, which bailed out George Bush really in terms of his policy there, was very successful. But, you know...
But it's a big difference between Afghanistan and Iraq, right?
Listen...
Well, in both places, if you're trying to create democracy, you have to change the culture.
Here's why in your... Wait a second. Why on your TV show?
Yeah.
Why don't you at least offer some opinions
I'm
like
going
this?
to.
I find you interesting like this.
Yeah.
The idea that you're the interviewer who is removed and doesn't give his opinion.
Did you watch any of our Egypt shows this week?
I didn't see them, but I heard
we went
right.
live every day.
Because you were offering your opinion?
Yeah, but you see, I like all things. When you've edited a major national daily newspaper for 10 years in Britain like I did, you do all these things. We opposed the war in Iraq. We supported the war in Afghanistan. So we weren't a pacifist newspaper. And, you know,
but CNN doesn't want you giving your opinions,
No,
they?
but actually that's wrong. What they don't want is me screaming from the right or left, kind of hysterical, partisan, Glenn Beck-style stuff.
Right.
Or even Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow, where it's clearly positioned in a way that you have to... Everything has to
But
suit
I
your
like
agenda.
that stuff.
But
And I think you're an interesting guy.
Howard,
As a matter of fact, when you Twitter, I find it interesting. Yes, you're provoking people and you're trying to start a fight and all this stuff. But that's fun. Why don't you do that on TV?
Because rather like you, when I hear your show, it's all things. It's horses for courses. Some days you wake up and you just want to have a great laugh with Robin and talk about sex and Jersey Shore and whatever it may be.
Right.
Another day you wake up like I do and you go, you know something? I'm absolutely bloody incensed about what is happening in Afghanistan right now. I'm the same. And so I like to do shows where last week, I think after 2 weeks of conventional interviews, where I was, I thought the choice of guests we had was great. I think some were hugely more successful than others.
But you want to do different things.
I'd like occasionally, the great thing about being at CNN, when there's breaking news, when there's a proper hard story, people will come and watch. They turn to CNN. And that's when I know that I'm at the right company for me, because CNN remains the most, as they say, the most trusted brand in news. And the reason for that is they are independent politically. Now, I said to them...
But I like entertainment.
No, but you can be entertaining and opinionated. And I said, listen, I think CNN's problem has been, as other networks have got increasingly loud and more opinionated, actually there's a really great positioning here for CNN if they get it right. Come down the middle, but be loud and be more opinionated. Have opinions, but just don't make it obvious that you're basically with Sarah Palin or with Obama, whatever it is.
Because that can get boring.
It gets boring and it gets predictable.
It's knee-jerk.
I don't have to turn on Rachel Maddow or Glenn Beck to know what they're going to be saying. I know when there's a news story which way they're both going to go.
But maybe we like their attitude. They're brash. They give their opinion.
Well, that's a different question.
I think you could do that.
If you ask me, do I like those shows? I do. I watch all of them. I think Bill O'Reilly's brilliant.
Right.
I met him for the first time at the Knicks, funny enough. Actually, quite a funny story. Can I tell it?
Yeah.
Because I never met Bill O'Reilly. So, he's gigantic.
He's another maniac who came up to me and said, Howard, I want you on once a week and I'm going to help you out.
He's another guy who was trying to help you.
who's going to help
But
me. I go, guys, I'm doing very well. Better than both of you put together. Trust me.
I bet he didn't come in here and defend himself, right?
No, he's a big pussy.
So I've got the balls.
You've got balls.
Jones.
You've got the balls.
And,
so you met Bill O'Reilly. He's very tall.
Yeah, so we're at the Knicks, and it's quite funny. He's there with his daughter and one of her friends. She's quite young.
And by the way, isn't that funny? Because he's the guy who goes, I never go anywhere. I don't go to Nobu. He goes to Nobu.
Well, was in the VIP lounge.
Of course.
You and your fancy friends.
Yeah, he's exactly where I met you. So I go over and I say, Bill, it's lovely to meet you. I'm Piers Morgan. And he literally looked at me like, who are you? You know, I said, I'm taking over from Larry King. And he went, oh, yeah. But he didn't really want to talk to me.
He knew who you were.
Yeah, exactly. So it was all a bit of a game. So I walked off. Anyway, I then saw his daughter run over to him and whisper. And next thing, Bill has to come over to me. And he says, look, I don't know about if you could do this, but my daughter's a big fan of America's Got Talent. Could you possibly do a picture? I said, Bill, it would be my pleasure.
Right.
So it gets better. So I go over and I pose for a picture with his daughter, who's a lovely girl with her friend, and posing for pictures. Bill takes the picture. As the flash goes off, the commissaire, you know how officious they can be in there. I mean, it's a great place, the Madison Square Garden, but when you're in there, you have to behave properly.
Yes.
And the commissaire runs over, and he's got one of these lovely suits, and he's emblazoned with badges and things, and he says, excuse me, to Bill O'Reilly. Stops him, puts his hand over the camera and says, this is my favourite quote of the year, we must respect the privacy of our celebrities.
You must have loved that.
Oh, Bill said, I can't do pictures. He said, I'm sorry, sir. And he's trying to say, are you all right, Mr. Morgan? and what was great was he had no idea who Bill O'Reilly was. So Bill says, he didn't know who I was. I went, Bill, welcome to the king of all media.
Piers, clear something up for me. Your name, Morgan.
Yeah.
Is your stepfather's name.
It is, yeah. My father died when I was 1.
So you've never met your father?
Never met my father, no. But I mean, I would qualify that by saying that my mother remarried when I was about 4 years old, and she was pregnant with my second brother, the army brother, when my natural father died, and that she... you know, my dad, the only person I've ever known as my dad, came along at 4 years, when we were 4.
What did your biological father do, and how did he die?
He was a dentist, and he died. He had a very unfortunate internal ulcer condition, which he developed as a young guy. And it killed him. These days, it wouldn't kill him.
How old was he?
He was 32.
Was there a big sort of emptiness in your life from not meeting him?
Well, no. I mean, when you're 1, you don't have any memory at all. What there is an unfailing curiosity, because I found an extraordinary thing out later. I went to the funeral of his sister, who was a lovely person in Ireland, who had all these cousins that I have now in Ireland, which has been great. But when she died, I went to the funeral in the middle of Ireland, in a place called Banagher in County Offaly. And it's right bang in the middle of Southern Ireland. And this guy came up to me and he said, oh, Piers, I knew your father. And I'd never met anybody who, outside of family, who'd ever met my father or known him. And he said, he was a great man. He said, just like you, full of chat. Yeah, they had all the chat, all the opinions.
Isn't that funny?
All the opinions. And then other weird things, you know, he then began to do. Now, my father was a big chess player, as I am, and you are. He used to like doing the Telegraph newspaper crossword, which I then began to do just for randomly. But the most extraordinary thing was he'd been a dentist, a professional dentist, but this guy told me, you do realise he used to be a journalist? I said, no, I never knew that. And he had for 2 years been a trainee journalist on the local newspaper. And his mother had said, you've got to get a decent job, and made him become a dentist. Yeah, but
so I suspect he had the ulcer from trying to beat all the other dentists. He probably was competitive like
probably.
That. You seem to be on fire
working on an ulcer now.
Yeah, it was just it was an amazing discovery to find out that I got it really, you know, obviously from my father.
And your stepfather adopted you?
He did.
And he felt loved by him?
Yeah, I found him, he is an extraordinary guy now. I mean, he to take on 2 young boys when he's in his mid-20s.
Very unusual.
He worked in nightclubs at the time, and he had to give all that up, and he restarted and started his own business, and he an extraordinary guy. I mean, you know, as I say, the only dad I've ever known, and he's been a wonderful father to all of us, and we got a younger brother and sister came along.
Do you think your brother in the military is envious of the money you're making, and are you giving him money?
What he does, he makes sure that I lavish quite a lot of it in his direction when he's back on leave.
Is that true?
And I try to, yes.
You do? Well, what do you give him? What are these things?
I give him, like, you know, little trips here and there, and I throw big parties and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, I think, listen, I think when you're lucky enough to be in my position, where for a large part of the last 5 years, I've been paid ridiculous sums of money to judge piano-playing pigs. If you have another member of the family who is risking his life in the war zone, the least you can do is you know, bum him a few meals.
What about the other 2 siblings? Do you?
Well, my younger brother's quite good. I just bought a pub. In fact, I was going to offer you a little peace treaty here. I bought a pub in London called the hansom cab in Kensington about 4 months ago, and my brother has
You
been
feel
installed.
good about that?
Love it.
Giving people alcohol? Do you have any
Yes.
moral issue with that?
No, absolutely not.
Do you think that drinking can lead to wrecking people's lives, and therefore
it
you're
can,
the guy
and it-
who's
and
going to serve them all that alcohol?
It can, but it can also, in my experience, lead to enhancing people's lives.
That's right. You can get laid.
I lie awake at night dreaming of a pint of Harvey's Real Bitter, and it's sitting there in my pub waiting for me. I get back next weekend for a long weekend. I'm going to march straight to my pub and just guzzle the fastest pint of beer you've ever seen in your life, straight down my gullet. Served by my brother. But if you're ever in London, any of you, right? Free beer for life at the Handsome Cab.
Thank you.
Awarded to you and your team at this show.
Are you a serious chess player? I mean, are you very good?
Yeah.
You still keep
What's
up with
your
it?
ranking? Do you have one?
I play on the computer all the time.
What is your rating? Do you
Well,
know?
I once I've checked you out. I know that you're pretty serious,
Right.
and I know that you get into this whole.
By the way,
internet
I've quit chess. Do you know this?
Stop it.
I stopped 2 weeks ago, and I will not play.
Why is that?
Because I was obsessed. It was taking up my life.
I know why you've quit.
Why have I quit?
Because you heard I played.
I had no idea you played. What opening do you use?
I'm taunting you on Twitter.
What
you
opening?
join Twitter.
Let me,
I tell you I want to play
I'm going to
chess.
judge how serious you are.
You give up chess.
What opening do you play as white?
I like to play the Bobby Fischer opening from the 74-75 Clash.
What is that?
If you don't know it, Hal, you're not a chess player. You're not a chess player.
Well, Bobby always opened up with E4.
Exactly.
Right. But what is the opening? What is the name of it?
Why don't we play? Let's put it over once and for all.
Are you a very good player?
I can play.
You can play.
I've played all my life.
Well, I started 3 years ago.
I know, so you're a beginner.
I am.
Yeah.
I am called a beginner. That's
Why don't we play?
Why are you so competitive with me?
Why? Because you're competitive.
Talk to me about your personal life for a second, because I'm not following
Let me ask one more question.
Yeah.
If I beat you,
yeah,
will you admit that I'm the king of all media?
No.
In chess?
First of all,
you're part of media.
What would chess have to? It's part of media. How about we arm wrestle right now and get it over with?
Are you
okay?
strong?
Let's do a 100-yard dash.
I'm pretty strong, actually.
What if we did a 6-mile run?
Do you want to do the arm wrestle?
I tell you what. Let's do an event.
Arm wrestle.
All right, let's have an Olympics.
I tell you what, I've actually got big. I've got big arms at the moment.
Here's what we're going to do.
I'll take you downstairs. Come on,
come on. We're going to let's wrestle right now. Whoever wins, whoever.
Can we wrestle with Robin?
Robin too. That's right. She wrestles with me. All right. Let me
You're
ask
going to
you.
get a king of all media sandwich, Robin. You lucky girl.
More confusing than anything about you is your personal life. I can't figure it out. You were married at one point.
Yes.
You got a divorce.
I did.
Okay. Now you're remarried.
Correct.
When did you get remarried?
In the summer.
Okay.
So it's recent.
The new wife.
Yes.
Lives in England.
She comes and goes all the time.
And I got to tell you something. Now, listen, I don't want to insinuate anything, but this publicist you run around with.
Oh, you said she was very
She's
pretty.
going to love you, Seamus.
Well, you better be careful.
Can you don't forget my PA? She's out there too, and she's equally hot.
Wait a second. You got to hear this scene. Piers, when I went to do his show, I show up.
Surrounded by women?
There's this very young, really attractive girl. And I'm like, wow, she's kind of hot. I don't know what she does. She goes, oh, I'm Piers's publicist. I go, oh, okay, all right. Thank you and happy birthday. Very gracious.
Yes.
Then I show up at the Nick game. Who's Piers, sitting with, on a date? A full blown out fucking date. Oh, bullshit. And he's squiring her, and she is, I have a publicist. We don't walk around together, go to Nick games together. We don't go to dinner together.
Does your publicist look like mine does?
No, it's a guy.
Well, there you are.
Yeah, Dan
that's why you don't walk around with him.
Dan Clory. I mean,
you're forgetting that at the Knicks game, I was actually doing a half-time interview. I was there for publicity reasons.
Why is your wife in England? I don't understand. Why doesn't she move to America?
She likes England. She's English.
Wait a second. You just got married.
Yes.
You're working in California. You're doing America's Got Talent. You'll be doing CNN, and you're doing CNN in New York. And the wife, the new wife, is in England.
Yeah, but she's coming out, Howard.
Are you fucking your publicist?
No,
Answer.
I am not.
Are you in love with her?
No,
Have
Howard,
you ever
I'm in love
kissed
with my
her?
wife.
I don't fucking believe it. Why would you want
Howard,
your
if
new
you're
wife?
in love with my publicist, have a word with her. She's
I'm
out
not
the
in
back.
love with her.
And by the way, she loves you. This is going to be an easy fix.
I can't even tell
Seriously.
you. I can't even tell you how wrong it looks.
Megan,
when
if you're
running
out
around
there,
with her.
can
Where
you
is
come
she?
in?
Come in here. I am telling you.
Well, what is the deal? He took this job after he married.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. You got kids with her?
No.
She's single and she's living in England.
Yeah, but she's coming
Look
out
at this
now.
publicist.
Oh, my goodness.
Madonna me. Oh, my God. Give me a break.
Megan, meet Howard.
Megan, hi. Megan.
Hey, I think he's in love with it.
Well, I think you are. I'm not running around with her. You are every minute of the... I mean,
I do love her as my publicist.
Megan,
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29. You're extremely attractive. Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
What? I can't hear you.
I don't.
You do not. And are you with Piers 90% of the day?
No, I'd say 60% of the day.
60% of the day. So when he goes to bed, essentially, you're not there.
No.
Are you attracted to him
60%
physically?
Not really.
What?
No.
You better rephrase that, or you're my ex-publicist.
But you're not having sex with Piers.
No. We're not having sex.
You're not having sex.
No.
Thank
Probably
God.
like to. I
And
mean,
by the way,
why wouldn't you?
Let's be honest.
We're good friends, though.
You would have sex with me before you would Piers.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah, there you go. Now you know the truth.
My life is dying in front of me here.
That's the point, Piers.
Do not admit that on air ever again.
One last
You're fired.
question.
Get out. Fired. Get out.
Right.
It's over.
How far have you guys gone sexually? First base?
So whatever happened,
No,
it's over.
It's nothing. Whatever's happened is
Fired.
over.
It just died.
Well, thank you.
I just lost my job.
Yes, Bobo, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, now, what's happening?
I'm so pissed at this Piers. I mean, it's so apparent he comes out as this outrageous host, and you're clearly not, man. I mean, you're trying to be in competition with Howard. You're not even in his league.
You want to know something?
There's a reason you're
honest
called
to
Bobo,
God,
isn't there?
Yeah. I, honest to God, do not feel that I am competing with Piers.
No, you don't even
honestly.
do the same things.
I don't feel this sense of competition that he feels with me. And I really enjoy him.
Yeah.
And so, what can I tell you? I like the guy.
I told you, Piers is like shadow boxing because you're not sparring with him.
I know. It's like he's punching himself in the head. Let's go to Maud. Maud, you're on the air.
Hi, Howard. I guess I'm just so sick of him. I feel like he feels so entitled. He is so arrogant and pompous.
Can I tell you something, what I think, Maud?
What?
Oh, Maud, get over yourself. Calm down.
I think Piers is actually a bundle of insecurity. I think he's a sensitive guy. He wants to succeed in America very badly.
That's true.
And he doesn't need to try so hard. He doesn't need to.
No one ever died of hard work, Ab.
That's right.
Trust me.
I think that Piers, I mean, when you're talking naturally, it sounds great. It's when this bullshit comes out of your mouth and you have to, all this bravado, it shrinks your dick in the mind of every woman.
Do you have a big penis?
We've discussed this on air.
I forget.
All I would say is it's bigger than yours.
And by the way, was I right about CNN? They cut out all our penis discussion.
But we got it online, don't worry.
There you go. All right. And by the way, that's not fair. When you do an interview, I say do it in real time. That's what I think.
Now, next time we'll do it live.
What about the criticism with Oprah that everyone was saying Piers treated her softball?
You were very deferential.
Oh, well, listen,
you were treating her like she was a queen.
You know something? You go in with someone like Oprah and you get too aggressive early on, she won't give you anything. I flattered, I teased her, I flirted with her, and as a result, I think I got out some remarkable stuff from Oprah Winfrey.
Let's go to Frosty. Frosty in Babylon. Go ahead, you're on with Piers Morgan. Watch Piers Morgan tonight, weekday nights at 9 o'clock on CNN.
Hey, Howard, this guy should have come in and licked your balls.
How do you know I haven't been?
Come on, lick my balls.
We don't know I haven't.
Yeah, how do you know Howard wants that?
Why are all my fans so angry with Piers? Because what, he tweets that he's the king of all
No,
media?
because you've been winding them up all week. That's why.
I mean,
that's why
come
I've
on.
come in here to defend myself heroically.
He's pompous and he has an English accent, so fuck him.
Don't you think that holds you back in a way? I mean, people do seem to be hostile to the fact that you got a job that Americans should have.
You know, Britain became an empire for a reason, you know?
Right.
We don't have to worry too much about people worrying about our accent. We're proud of our accent. But I love America. I love Americans. So all this anger that's being spewed my way is because your fans are getting genuinely nervous. There may be a new king of all media.
Jim, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Piers, have you started thinking about or planning your next job after CNN fires you in a few months?
What if CNN fires you? Will you be... I heard you have a no-cut contract. In other words, they got to pay you if they fire you.
Well, I don't really care about all that. I mean, I've been fired before, and it turned out to be the best thing ever happened to me.
When were you fired?
I was fired from the Daily Mirror.
Why was that? It was a scandal, right?
Well, yeah, what happened was we had pictures we were the anti-war paper for Iraq. We got offered some pictures by some soldiers of British troops abusing Iraqi civilians, and we kept them for 2 months. We made every check we could possibly check, and Abu Ghraib blew up in America with obviously much worse images, but we felt we then had this duty to reveal that some British troops had been doing the same thing, and they turned out to be allegedly fake pictures.
I see.
As it turned out, I've never got to the bottom of it. I mean, no one's ever shown me the truth about these pictures. If anyone's listening,
So
and
you
they
were
know the truth.
accused of showing in the paper false pictures.
Yeah, although the incident was never denied. I mean, interestingly, the regiment we accused ever since, they've had a series of court-martials because of the abuse that they had been found
So
guilty
it's not
of.
conclusive that the pictures were doctored?
No, it's not. And I never found out what it was.
Was your
And-
brother angry with you as a military man?
No, he thought it was. He thought. Well, interestingly, his regiment replaced the regiment we were accusing, and he knew exactly what they'd been up to. So
Why can't we torture these guys anyway? What is the big deal? I mean, quite frankly, I know what you're saying because they'll torture us, but
No,
they're going to torture us
No,
anyway.
it's a higher position you have to have on these.
But what kind of torture did you find? What is it? Sometimes I see it's like torture is like showing them a picture of a naked woman.
No,
or
it's not that. It's
something.
when you get into the waterboarding and stuff like this.
Why is waterboarding
Because
so bad?
here's the deal, Howard.
Isn't that where they turn the sink on? You know, Nick DiPaolo said it's like when he goes for a shampoo and a haircut, they stick his head back and they put the water down.
but Howard, ask
Come
yourself,
on.
why did we go to war with Saddam Hussein? Because he tortured his people.
Right.
Do you have any kind of moral higher ground if actually you end up going into his country and torturing his people too? You don't. You lose the moral ground. The great thing about the American military and the British military is they've always tried to fight wars in a morally defensible manner. They believe they're doing the right thing. The moment you stray below that and you start just meddling in the same kind of crap that you are eliminating...
I'm for a little torture.
No, you've got to be careful with
Ridiculous.
torture.
He's being
I'm not talking about
ridiculous.
bamboo shoots.
Oh, stop
Nick
it.
DiPaolo spelled it out. Go listen to him.
Nick DiPaolo.
He's
Let
a
me
comedian.
waterboard Nick DiPaolo.
Howard,
See
go
how he
ahead and
likes it.
waterboard Nick DiPaolo. I'm going to get him in here and I'm going to let you
Howard,
do that.
my mirror is-
One of, did you see what they now they're forcing these guys to watch CNN. Piers Morgan
Listen,
show.
I'll tell you what torture is for you, Howard. My daily existence in your city. That's torture.
Did you see Howard on Letterman the other night?
I did. He was absolutely hilarious.
Wasn't that a fun appearance?
I thought it was hysterical from start to finish.
And by the way, you brought up my name on Letterman as well, which I thought was very nice.
I gave you, yet again, just trying to help you, Howard.
But you said on Oprah he didn't use your name.
Yes. Now, you went on... Oh, I got to ask you about... Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you
true.
got all upset. Your hurt feelings came through.
No, wait. Be honest. I really want to know the truth. You know I give Oprah the business all the time.
Yeah.
And Oprah's no fan of mine. And I don't hate Oprah or anything, but I think it's fun to talk about her. Now, when you were on there, she said she left it wide open. She said to you, Piers, besides myself, what were some of your most fun interviews? Now, I know I was one of your most fun interviews. Why were you afraid? Did she tell you ahead of time?
Is there just the incy-weeniest bit of insecurity creeping in?
Okay,
Howard?
fine. I'm curious. Did Oprah tell you
No,
not
she
to
didn't.
mention my name?
No, it was entirely down to me.
You swear to God?
I swear to God. I was entirely down to me. I simply wanted to torture you.
No, you didn't.
I knew you'd be watching,
why didn't
waiting
you?
desperately for me to give you a name check.
Were you afraid
I chose not to.
if you mentioned me that Oprah would suddenly be out of favor with you?
I didn't know you and her had a problem at all. So, no, I didn't.
So how could you say Ricky Gervais, no offense to Ricky, funny guy, how could you say he was more, I don't know, memorable than me? I mean, my interview was memorable.
Your interview was great. Ricky Gervais's was brilliantly newsy and topical because he'd just come off the Globes.
Really.
No,
Not
it wasn't.
really.
No, it was.
I don't know.
And he was British.
All right.
So,
So you're saying you left me out of there on your own. There was no Oprah.
Howard, you're sounding really insecure
No,
about
I
this.
want to know if Oprah put the kill
You wanted
on
my
that.
love on air, didn't you?
Bring in my waterboarding equipment. I'm going to waterboard you right
Get to
now.
the bottom of it.
Let's go to Julie. Julie, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know, Pierce, if you're so fantastic and brilliant and everything, how come you can't be imaginative enough to come up with your own title like the King of All Media?
That's a good question.
Because
So-
I kind of like deposing dictators, you know? So it's just quite fun to steal their title.
Piers, I'm going to make my point one last time. I have proven myself in America. You do have to prove yourself.
I agree with
wish you
that.
luck.
I agree with that.
And I will help you with it.
Thank you.
But you can't be the king of all media till I see you beat Sean Hannity.
Okay.
On a consistent basis.
So if I do beat Sean Hannity, do I then become the king of all
then
media?
you're the king of cable.
But you just said I become the king of all media.
Well,
Make your mind up.
but then you've got to really, really do something spectacular, okay?
Well, Howard, let me tell you, thank you for having me on the show.
I enjoyed
I have
having
thoroughly
you
enjoyed
here.
being here. I'll be here any time, and the open invitation to come back on mine always stands.
Thank you.
It
You
would
will
help me,
him.
and
You
it will help
me.
you.
I might go on there, but I'm just hoping. I'm going to wait a few years. I'm just hoping you're there. I'll show up, and I don't know. What is it, Pete? Go ahead. Let's say hi to Pete. A couple more people. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Piers, you're unbelievable. I think you're great. And Howard, it's good to have someone on the air that's got a brain in their head.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is true.
And that's my
what
point
I would
about
like
Piers.
to hear.
It must be-
Intelligent
yeah,
Well, it must be
conversation.
quite rare on this show, right?
No, but Piers, this is what I like about you. This is why I'm a fan of yours. Even on America's Got Talent, you have a good opinion. There's no nonsense. You're not looking to make jokes. You do the job. Now with this new show, Let a little bit of your personality
you're right,
come
Howard.
out. I
think
mean
you're
it.
right.
You're an interesting guy. You've got definite opinions. Let's hear them.
I think because you didn't watch me all last week, you missed my opinions on the big story.
I did because.
So I think actually I have listened to you, and you are somebody I hugely respect.
All right.
So I want to take your advice.
All right, and give me a prediction. When will you surpass Hannity in the reigning?
I will be the king of all media within 3 years.
Within 3 years,
yeah,
you will take over this.
And I'll come back in here. You can put a crown on my head, get down on bended knee, and say, "All praise to the new king."
If you like General Zod, like
Exactly.
Superman, like Kal-El, I will get on my knee. If you don't beat Sean Hannity, will you have failed?
Well, eventually you've got to beat the number one. You've got to beat them. I'm not in this game to come second.
Good for you.
But by the way, at the moment we've been third a long time. And last week we beat Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, I think 4 nights out of 5.
Has anyone, executives from the CNN organization, come to you and said, Piers, we're nervous because of the first 3 weeks and we want
They've said they're nervous that I'm being a little too successful too quickly.
Come on, tell the truth.
That's the truth.
Has anyone from CNN come down and said to you, Piers, here's what we want you to do? If you honestly
got anyone from CNN on there said, are we nervous that we've doubled the ratings?
No, but are you leaving them?
Wait.
Are they giving you autonomy?
Let me just clarify the ratings position.
Okay.
The ratings last week were double what they were in the previous 4 months before I joined. Fact, in the 9 p.m. slot. Double. Not just a little bit higher, double.
Some people are saying because it was the Egyptian crisis.
I'm not denying that, but I'm telling you, you want to obsess about ratings, I'll take double.
So no one from CNN has come to you and said, here's what we want you to do?
Absolutely not. We've been given incredible freedom.
All right.
But they did say to me, Howard Stern knows his stuff. Have a little chat with him.
Have you ever showered with your publicist, Megan?
I haven't.
You have not.
But I think you'd like to, wouldn't you, Howard?
She's some good-looking girl.
It can be arranged.
Is that not a temptation beyond temptation? Seriously, you're away from your wife. When's the last time you had sex with your wife?
Howard, I don't discuss this kind of thing.
When's the last time you saw your wife?
I'm seeing her next week.
When's the last time you saw your wife?
I'm seeing her Thursday night.
When is the last time?
Do you want to do a live podcast
of
my marital bed?
Hey, when is the last time you saw your wife?
I last saw my wife 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So you have not had sex for 2 weeks.
But bear in mind, for the last 5 years since I met her, I've done America's Got Talent.
Do you have an apartment here in Manhattan? Or
No, I stay at the Mandarin.
You stay at a hotel?
Yeah.
And beating off, what, 2-3 times a week? Honestly? What are you doing? Are you thinking about... Have you ever thought about Megan when you beat off?
No, I think about you.
You've never thought about Megan?
I think about you.
Do you watch porn?
No, I think about you.
Have you ever watched you porn?
The only thing that turns me on at night, Howard,
Do you
is the
have an
thought of beating
iPad?
you as king of all media.
Piers.
That's what turns me
Piers,
on.
do you
Howard,
ever...
I'm not talking to you about my
masturbate?
sexual proclivities.
What was that?
Whatever.
Do you...
Sexual proclivities.
Do you... Seriously. You're a man, you're a grown man, you're alone in a hotel now.
Howard, I'm not going to go
and
there
you've
with
never
you.
fantasized about Megan,
Howard,
your
I work for
publicist.
CNN and I'm not some grubby, serious presenter.
You've never fantasized about Megan, your publicist?
No, I have not.
You don't see her as a temptation when your wife is away for so long?
I do not.
You do not. You're totally and thoroughly in love.
You never dip your pen in company ink, Howard.
And you're in love with your wife?
I am.
And you wait patiently for her to return?
I do.
And if the pressure builds up in your balls too much, what do you do?
I'll come and see you.
All right. So, did you ever cheat on your wife?
No.
Never?
No.
Not even the first one?
No.
Really?
No.
What?
I'm not getting into anything about my life with you, Howard.
Well, this is the guy who wants everybody to open up to him.
I'm a shameless hypocrite. Aren't we all, darling?
What are you up to?
Now we have to do an investigation.
What are you? I'm going to have to investigate you.
Come and investigate me, big boy.
Piers Morgan, I love you. Don't worry,
I
pal.
love you, Al.
I am not afraid to say it. I don't care. You can tweet all you want about me. You can be the king of all media. You can do whatever you want.
You said it!
Go ahead.
He just said it.
Go ahead. Go have fun.
Thank you.
And let me tell you something. You're on your way. You know, in one way, you remind me of Larry King. He's been married 8 times. You're already up to 2. You've got 6 more marriages to go.
Goodness.
And then you'll be just like Larry. You'll be a complete raving lunatic. Watch Piers Morgan tonight. Weekday nights at 9 o'clock on CNN. Thanks so much, Piers. And we'll be back. Well, what is this? Oh, that's Piers. That's your wife?
That's my wife.
Oh, Maron. Oh, now I get
you
it.
may understand, right?
Why is she in England? Oh, she's a doll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Now
what does she do for a
Now
living?
do you understand why your question
What
seems
does she
so
do?
silly, Howard?
Yeah. What does she do?
She's a journalist.
That's a journalist?
Mm-hmm.
What is she journalist? At the Playboy Mansion?
No, the Daily Telegraph in London.
No kidding. Bright woman.
Mm-hmm.
So what? She stays in
She
England?
speaks 3 languages. She can talk to you in Russian, Italian, and French.
Yeah, my wife speaks 3 languages. So
Well, there we are. We're
German and French.
We're both batting above our strength.
Look at you with this. Oh, yeah. What'd you meet her at work and then you had to get rid of the first wife?
No, Howard.
What happened?
No, there was no connection.
Were you working together when the romance happened?
I'd been separated for about 6 years when I met my second wife.
I see. Wow, what I do to her.
Did you hire
That's what
her?
worries me.
Did you hire her?
No, I didn't hire her. No.
Nice boobs. Are those natural?
Yes, they are.
No implants.
No implants.
Very nice.
He's really looking her over.
Isn't it true she started as your publicist?
You're not going to stop.
All right, Piers, thank you so much for coming in, and I wish you the best of luck with the show. You know I do, and I've told you that, and I do consider you a friend. And let me tell you, what a wife. She should really come to America.
She's coming, don't you worry.
No, she should come and forget the other job.
Well, we'll go out, Howard.
Yeah,
you can meet my wife.
You'll tell me what's going on. When she's in town, I want to. Okay. You don't have to be there. I want to meet her.
Right,
good seeing
fun.
you again.
That was great fun. I loved it. Thanks.
It was wonderful. Thank you for coming in again. That was excellent.
We love you here.
Yeah.
Anytime, mate.
That's it. Very much.
Take care.
See you.
I'll talk to you on Twitter. Like I said, hey, wait a minute. Like I said, he went down.
Piers. Is the feud finally over?
Yeah, but only because I took him down. So I came, I saw, I conquered, all over.
Now, despite, he calls you arrogant and all these things, there seems to be a lot of respect for Howard coming from your end. You seem to, really revere him.
Yeah, we are mutually respectful, but, I am competitive, and I'm not going to rest until I am appointed by Howard King of all media.
Now, you said this is going to be a friendly, while you take him down, you're going to be a friend to him. Now, why? Why is this? Why is there this respect for him?
I just believe when you take down a legend, you got to be kind to them on the way down. So as Howard topples, I'll put my arm around him and cuddle him.
You're very gentle.
I'm that kind of guy.
Now, all this talk, is your publicist going to be okay? Is Megan going to be okay with it?
She seems quite happy with Howard describing her as a
You're right,
Megan. Listen, I would imagine her lifetime ambition was that Howard Stern announced on air that she's a hot babe. So, job done.
So, how long is this process going to take to become the new king of all media? I mean,
I think it's already happening, to be honest with you.
Well, when will the final conquer? When will you officially take
It's not going to be long. I mean, Howard towards the end stumbled and actually called me the king of all media, so I think in his head he's already moving to a position of surrender.
Best of luck to you, Piers.
This is a Howard TV original production.
Welcome to Celebrity Superfan Roundtable, hosted by Jeff Probst and Natalie May, featuring Dan Patrick, Rob Thomas, Fred Armisen, Matthew Berry, Isaiah Mustafa, and Rosie O'Donnell. All here to discuss the Howard Stern Show. And now, Celebrity Superfan Roundtable.
I'm Dan Patrick from, I have a lot of jobs. Big fan of the show, obviously being here. This is my first Superfan Roundtable. So I hope I don't get exposed with trivia questions, but look forward to it. Good group here, and I've been a fan for probably 25 years now. So hopefully I'll add something to this.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Rob Thomas. I'm here at the Sirius Studios, getting ready to do the Celebrity Superfan Roundtable because I am a superfan and a small celebrity, and so those two things go together. I've been a fan for about 18 years. I bought my car with Sirius just so that I could listen to Howard. When I came here and actually to Sirius and I played, one of the things I was the most excited about was getting ready to come back here, and I got to check out some of the studio, and I touched the chair. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I touched the chair, which is kind of like touching Howard's ass. So that happened.
Hi, I'm Fred Armisen from Saturday Night Live. I'm here for the Howard Stern Roundtable, and it's for the super fans, and I can't wait to do it. In my mind, I've done it a million times. I've been listening to this show forever.
How you doing? I'm Isaiah Mustafa. I'm the Old Spice guy, and I'm a super huge Stern fan. I'm here for the Celebrity Stern Superfan Roundtable. I'm a little nervous, so I brought my notes. I want to make sure everything goes over well. The last thing I want is to be on the show when you guys get back on air and get called out for not knowing something that I should have known. So I just want to make sure that I'm right. This is such an honor to be here. I'm happy to be here. Hopefully this will segue into a show appearance. You never know.
Hey guys, okay, so this is a dream come true. I'm actually getting to be on the Celebrity Superfan Roundtable. Matthew Berry here from ESPN. I'm our senior fantasy analyst. I get to talk about fantasy sports for a living, which is a dream job, but nothing a bigger dream than getting to talk about Howard Stern on the Superfan Roundtable. So I'm super psyched. Can't wait to meet everyone. Can't wait to do this, and hope I get asked back.
Hey, welcome to the 4th Howard Stern Celebrity Superfan Roundtable. This time we are in New York. Everybody is actually just arriving now. We have Dan Patrick, Fred Armisen from SNL, Matthew Berry from ESPN. Who else is Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. Natalie Maines is going to be here via Los Angeles. And I think that's it. It should be a fun time. It's a blast to do this show. And it always cracks me up when you look at the people who will show up here to do this, stand in front of all these Howard Stern banners to talk about a guy most of us have never met. It is a tribute to the genius of Howard Stern and how much we are fans of this show. We are super fans. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to sit down. We're going to get started. I'll introduce our panel. Bunch of new people. Dan Patrick, say hello.
Hello.
Fred Armisen from SNL.
Hello. Hi.
You're going to distinguish these voices all day. Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 is here.
Hello.
And someone I'm guessing that Robin is hot for, Isaiah, the Old Spice guy, is here.
Hello.
Along with Matthew Berry from ESPN.
Hello, hello.
So Natalie's going to jump in. We can see her on Skype. It feels
peace and love, peace and love.
And usually what Natalie and I like to do when we have some new people on the show, because the idea is we are celebrity super fans here talking about Stern. So just give me your rundown. Patrick, how long you been listening and what qualifies you as a super fan?
Well, Probst, just want to throw this out. Let's see, super fan. I think in 1986 I went out of Five Penn Plaza across from the Garden, and I had a producer saying, you got to listen to this. And that was the first time I heard Howard. Howard was doing afternoons, and so I just started to follow the show, follow the characters, was in for Baba Booey's roast, and just, Richard and Sal, the prank phone calls, Beetlejuice, you name it, top to bottom. Robin, I've done a drive-by with Robin, and I like what I see. I've always appreciate Robin.
When do you listen? Do you listen at home? In your car?
Usually after my show is over, then I'll listen. I don't listen to any talk radio, certainly not in sports, but I listen because it's just different. I like Howard, how he interviews, but I think the genius has always been how he gets people that you wouldn't normally care for, be interested in, and you actually do care about those things. So I followed a long time, appreciate it, and relationship with Gary a long time, so he asked me to come in, and honored to be here.
Fred, when do you listen to Stern?
I like around 9 in the morning. I catch the news part of it, but I've been listening since I was in high school. I grew up on Long Island, so I've been listening a long time when Jackie the Joke Band was on, and I got Sirius Radio about a year ago, and I love it.
Does he influence you, or do you think there's been an influence on your comedy?
You know what? He influences me with opinions. So whenever I kind of can't make up my mind about what I feel about something, for some reason, just to hear him even say the words like "stupid" makes me think like that was a stupid thing that just happened. So like,
he totally changed my opinion on lactating prostitutes. I didn't even know that I had one, and then I was just like, oh yeah, okay, I love them.
Have you had any interaction with him from the band point of view or from your music career? Because he's pro musician.
Yeah, no, he's actually said nice things about me. I've never done the show, but I've been listening for 18 years. I realized, I grew up in Central Florida, and if anybody's ever been there, you need entertainment as much as you can possibly get it. And so when he was syndicated and came there, that kind of changed. And now I think Natalie probably can understand this. Like, you spend so much time like playing music and writing music, and you're rehearsing and you're in the studio, and I get in my car and the last thing I want to do is listen to music. So I always go straight to Howard, and I'll turn on Howard. And now having it on Sirius and not having to wake up at 6 in the morning to listen to it, that's a bonus too.
Yeah, the replays have changed everything.
Great, yeah.
How about you, Isaiah?
I've been listening since 95. I was in college, and my buddy got me onto it. And I was disappointed that I wasn't listening before then because I missed out on so much. But now with the tapes, I can kind of go back and listen.
What do you notice when you hear old, something from 20 years ago?
Usually his voice, and I'm listening to his voice all the time. so just the inflection of his voice, how it's gotten a little deeper and more resonant as the years have gone on.
And does it strike you odd that we're all sitting here taking time away from our day to talk about Howard Stern?
Not at all. Actually, when he got divorced, it kind of helped me get my divorce. I thought, wow, he can do it. I guess I should probably go ahead and do that too. So I went ahead and it took me a little longer, but I worked it out.
So if Howard was still married to his first wife, would you still be married to yours?
I hope not. But anything could happen.
But Isaiah's dating Howard's first wife now. So.
Very awkward.
So, how about you, Matthew?
Yeah, I've been listening since about '92. So I mean, I was telling Lisa G earlier that like if you go to the deep dark crevices of my closet, there's a VHS of Crucified by the there's a VHS actually of Butt Bongo Fiesta and a cassette tape of Crucified by the FCC. So I go. So
you are a legitimate super fan,
and I've listened for 20 years and huge fan and. I play in a fantasy league with JD and John Hine and Jason and everyone, and so I've had John and Gary on my podcast before. So huge fan, and I actually write about Howard a decent amount in my columns on ESPN, talking about how Howard's influenced my career, and huge fan. Certainly more super fan than celebrity, I would say.
Just to get us going, Natalie, we talked a lot on the last super fan about whether or not Howard would be coming back, and if they came back, would it be in the same capacity? What's your take on the new contract, the new hours, and all of it?
Well, let's say, first of all, very excited and relieved that he is back. My life can continue for 5 more years as a happy, loving mother to my 2 children.
Because for anybody who's listening for the first time, you are maybe the most crazed, dedicated, borderline nuts super fan. You listen all day to the replays and everything.
This is what I'm learning. And I do want to ask Fred, I just want to clear up with Fred. So you're a super fan of the 9 o'clock hour with Robin's News? Is that
How
right?
about that? It's just that that's when I wake up. But I will say, though, I mean, I'm still as much a fan as I ever was.
That's good. I'm just teasing.
Yeah. And also, Amy Poehler from the show, from Saturday Night Live, is a huge fan, too. So she always relays stories to me about stuff he's been talking about.
Awesome. Well, one complaint I have about the new schedule is, of course, 4 hours from 5, which is hard to get used to. But I also feel like we should get less commercials if we get less Howard. It's breaking in too much, especially in the news, Fred. You must be really bummed about that, all the live commercials Howard's doing during the news.
Well, I have a question. Dan, maybe you have insight into this. Was the idea behind something like Sirius the original idea with cable TV that you wouldn't have commercials, that you're paying for a service that's commercial free?
Well, I think that having been at ESPN for 18 years, I think we got the feeling that cable meant you were allowed to stretch the boundaries. So when satellite radio came along, I didn't think it meant commercial free as much as it meant management free, that you were able to express yourself. And that's why when Howard, after listening to him on K-Rock and then knowing he was coming here, part of me didn't want to hear him on satellite because I like that there was still that element of I got to read into what it was. It's sort of like, the difference between looking at a magazine that shows you, women in lingerie or you see Penthouse. Howard's now Penthouse, whereas before lingerie, I love that element of, God, I just wish I could. Now he gets to do those things. So there was a difference with that, and I think that was the difference with cable. We thought we could do a little bit more because we're on there as opposed to network.
Matthew, as a longtime fan, do you like this? The news ends at a certain time. The show starts again at a certain time.
Well, listen, I'm with Natalie, right? More Howard is always great. But having said that, I know that when we hear complaints at ESPN, they're like, why do you do this? And it's like, well, there's a lot of thought that went into this. And so I feel like, Natalie, for you to say, like, hey, there's too much commercials there. Well, my guess is that what's happening to those commercials, obviously, is Gary's coming in, Jason, Will, they're coming in and they're saying, here, how about this? How about this? Have you thought about this? And to me, if there was no commercial breaks, is the show as good? To me, it gives Howard a chance to sort of reset and refocus and bring up something that maybe he wasn't aware of. So to me, I actually think
I'm all for that. It's the live commercials. Breaking into the news has gotten excessive. It's just messing with the flow.
See, I'd rather live commercials because it's him.
Those are the best.
But don't you like that you can always tell when Howard is looking at the clock when he says, anything else, Robin? Yeah. Anything else, Robin? Anything else, Robin?
Well, it's hilarious because he does it after the first news story.
And Robin never takes the cue, though. She continues on. I've got 8 more stories.
Right, exactly. He'll say the first one and then be like, anything else, Robin? Just like, the news started 5 minutes ago, Howard. It's hilarious.
Sorry, Rob, I had a question for you. You had mentioned that you've never been on the show. Would you not go on the show?
Oh, are you kidding me? I would be on the show every day.
I would
You
be like I
would?
would be like David Arquette. I would be on there spilling my guts out.
I already asked David if I could be his intern, so you'll have to get in line.
Hey, Rob, did you see the Grammys the other night?
Yeah.
And Train gave a Howard Stern shout out.
Yeah,
That's right.
You know, Pat is a man of his word, and he didn't. I thought that was really, really cool.
But I remember when he played the song, and at the time, I don't know if Howard liked it, but when Pat played it, and that was the first time I heard it.
Yeah,
So it was
same here.
interesting to see how it got to where it got, and that's to win a Grammy.
And one thing I want to get to, Dan, with you, because there's a big story swirling around you and Charlie Sheen.
Oh, that's what that is.
The setup, that you can tell the story, but the basic setup is that Sheen called in to your show to talk about baseball, I think, and ended up talking about his career. And I'm wondering, maybe set up the story, but I'm also wondering, that's vintage. That is Howard Stern-esque moment where you have to grab this and turn it into something.
You bring up Howard, but Gary was texting my producer, Paul, throughout the entire interview.
So what happened?
Well, I had Charlie on a couple of times, and he's a big baseball fan, and he said, look, next time I get to go a little bit longer, here's my number. So I left him alone with all the other stuff that was going on. Seemed like he had more on his plate than he needed to. So I said to Paul, text him. Text him and see if he wants to come on, because he had gone to UCLA to take batting practice with the UCLA Bruins. And he gave the great pep talk of don't do crack, drink chocolate milk. And I said, that's one of the more inspirational speeches we've ever heard in sports history. So he picked up right away, and he said, I'm on Monday. And all the PR people said, don't do it. And then he said, F them, I'm coming on. And so he just got on, and he said, no topic is off limits. But I wanted to be fair to him because I was inviting him on to talk baseball. How I approached it would have been different than how Howard would have. But Howard would have gone after, tell me about the hookers at the plaza. How much do you spend on them? How long do they stay? Those kind of things, where I had to sort of say, let's talk baseball, and he led me into some other
Was that the interview that I was just hearing on TV where he says, don't do crack? And then he immediately follows it up with, unless you can adjust to it socially.
Yes. Yes.
I thought that was just like one of the most amazing things that, especially for somebody who I imagine right now is more self-aware than he's ever been in his entire life. But to say, don't do crack, kids. Well, unless you can manage it into your social life.
Wow. But that's one of those, if you read it, Rob, then it's different than when you hear him. I mean, he has a great delivery and there's a sense of humor, but the problem is people are going, you got Dr. Drew who's going to analyze this and say, does he really have a crack problem, or what's his problem? And I think he was trying to be light with the mood.
Well, and the connection to this is that Stern has always been known as one of the best interviewers around. But it seems to me, and Natalie, see if you feel this way, but that since the new contract, it toward the tail end with Arquette, and then past that, he's been on fire with these interviews that are making headlines. Camille Grammer.
Casey Jordan.
He changed my whole opinion about Jerry Springer, listening to him talk to Jerry. And so when I hear your interview, I think, in some small way, there's a Stern influence in there about how to read a person. As you said, I went a different way because I'm on a sports show, so I can't go Howard's route. But there's some influence there about how an interview can go.
I've always, and I pride myself in interviewing, but the one thing that I've always noticed is Howard's a great listener. And he'll hear something that and if you use what he hears, and then he gets to his next topic. And it's something so small, it could be an intonation and inflection, and that's when he grabs it and then he goes. And that's all I tell people when they say, how do you interview? And I say, listen. Because if you listen, you might hear something, and that's what Howard does every single time. So it could be, with Kelsey Grammer's wife, or you could go down the list. Piers Morgan, he could hear something that makes him go, boom, and that's what I've always loved about it.
Okay, while we're on Piers Morgan, group response: Piers Morgan, thumbs up or thumbs down?
I think he
thumbs up, number one for coming
up.
on the show.
Yeah, I think he sounds like a kind of a douche, though.
Totally.
Yeah, and what do you mean by thumbs up? Thumbs
well,
down?
Meaning not coming on the show, but his, from having Howard on the show and trying to pick a fight or trying to say this is a battle of wits or whatever, and then coming on the show, his attitude to me feels so forced. Like, I'm going to press this. I'm the bad guy. I'm the badass interviewer, and it's not working for me at all.
It sounded like he was just going for sound bites. Like he just kept saying something so he could play it back, and you could hear him fighting with Howard.
See, and he probably wants to be a figure, too. So the more he does stuff like that, the more people can talk about it.
You think it'll work?
I think that it probably works for him.
I think you've got to be careful, and
Howard saw right through it because Howard goes, "Look, we're not fighting here. I'm not. This belt's not up for your grabs right now." And he was sort of shadow boxing, as Robin said.
Yeah,
he's shadow boxing, but he's not. You're not fighting anybody, dude. You got to work your way up to get here. And I think he's just trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, and I think it kind of came across to me like the way that he was positioning himself against Howard and the kind of feud that he was trying to create there was kind of like when Sean Hannity goes after Jon Stewart. And says, well, this is what I'm doing. And he's like, well, and Howard's like, listen, the difference between us is I don't take myself seriously, and you do. And that's why you seem kind of douchey.
See, I actually enjoyed the whole thing because I thought that Piers came across as, I agree with you, Rob. It didn't come across well.
I think it was a great interview because he was a douche.
Right, because, but he didn't come in and he didn't pay deference to Howard, and Howard was like, dude, who are you kidding? But what I did find it enjoyable, and we're talking about Piers. I think Piers got out of that appearance what he wanted, and I sort of think that, at least for me, I think the audience takes their cues from Howard, and I think that that Howard was sort of like, as opposed to getting really angry, it was almost like a bumblebee, like just swatting away a fly. It's just like, who are you kidding, Piers? I mean, you're nothing. But the fact that Howard sort of did it with a smile, I think that was
he was
the
gentle.
cue. Yes, very very gentle.
That deflection was genius too, where it was like, the king of all media. So are you fucking your publicist?
Yeah. What's the feeling when you're in your car or you're at home, Isaiah, and you're listening to Stern and you hear someone like Camille Grammer or David Arquette start to talk and you sense, whatever I had scheduled, I've got to stop because this is gold.
Yeah, how many times have you sat in the parking lot of the building you're about to walk into? You're like, okay, I'm just going to sit here for a little bit longer. I just got to wait.
Well, not anymore with the new app. So
no, listen,
you could rewind.
The Artie punching Teddy moment. I was in the parking lot for an hour. Yeah. I was like an hour late for what I couldn't, like a million times, right?
Also with Arquette, I think that you were hearing actually Howard provide his service because I think David needed to talk to somebody. Now, would he have taken it back that it was going to be public and he was going to hurt Courtney Cox's feelings? But he, at the time, needed an outlet. So I didn't view it as Howard taking advantage of David. I really think David needed somebody to talk to, and Howard approached it that where he was just saying.
Yeah, and anybody who knows David knows that David is one of the most open, honest people on the face of the earth, and he'll just let his heart just pour out of his mouth.
So where is that line when you're Howard and you've got this job to provide a show to your fans, and this is a friend self-destructing? What would you do, Dan? Is there a place you would stop that and go to break?
Well, I'll
never?
go back to Charlie Sheen. I wasn't there to provide guidance. I wasn't there to go, boy, Charlie, clean up your act. That's not my role.
But Charlie's not a friend of yours, though.
Well, but he's an acquaintance where David, I think, he considers Howard a friend. I think sometimes it puts you in a tougher position because it's a friend, and you're not quite sure if you're supposed to say, you know what, let's talk about this off the air. I don't know if you said to Howard, if you did it again, would you have made it as much public as you did? He might pull back a little bit, but he also knows he's making great radio. This is what people tune in for. He's providing a service, but he's also providing a service to David. So he had a myriad of things that I think were on his plate that day. And the only thing I thought was maybe he let David go too deep. And if he had a chance, he might back up a little bit there.
What's interesting? I think the question would be how much did he know from Courtney's side? Because listening to that the first time, he was hearing a lot of stuff for the first time, and maybe he knows, oh, this is okay, and the stuff that was coming out about them being separated and everything like that. So, I mean, if he knew some stuff from Courtney's side, he's like, whoa, you don't want to go there. But I felt like he was actually fairly gentle during that interview, and I mean, having a conversation with a friend, that was what was so brilliant about that. And you heard David's heart breaking.
But sometimes you want to interrupt that. You want to almost say to that person, you know what, hey, relax a little bit here, because he was very emotional early in the morning, and you got the feeling he hadn't been to bed.
But I always feel like, I mean, Howard, and this is the genius of Howard, right? Howard will always with the devil and the angel on both sides. He'll always go with the devil. I kind of, you're going to think this is weird, but I go back to the Gary sleeping tape, right? Because it's like, the guys came to him and like he knew this would really embarrass one of his closest workers and friends, but it's great tape and great radio. And so I sort of feel like it's one of those things that's like, do I embarrass Gary or I got to give me the tape? And there was a week-long thing out of that. But I felt like it was a similar thing,
Natalie, you and I had just done a Celebrity Superfan with Arquette a few days before that interview. What were you thinking when you heard it begin?
I was just feeling for him, and I felt how raw and honest he was being. And I don't think Howard could have stopped him because David definitely had things on his mind that he wanted to set straight or make clear, and he was purging in a sense. And then he didn't regret that, I don't think, because he called back 2 more times and came in another time. I just love David's openness and his honesty, and he was vulnerable and, might have some regrets about some of the things that he said. But I also think Courtney Cox knows David and knows who she married and knows how to take that. Everyone had a lot of opinions.
No matter what, like, friend or no friend, when you kind of walk into that room, the one thing for certain is that it's not Howard's job to say stop speaking, like, ever. Do you know? I mean, that's the whole idea. Like, there's this thing of consciousness.
It's almost like you're going to therapy.
Yeah,
you kind of know you're walking in.
That's what I see it as. You go in there and you know that you can be completely honest with him one-on-one.
Just ask George Takei.
Right. And that's refreshing.
Isaiah, when you hear the interview going on using either Grammar or any of these people, are you a fan just listening to the content, or is there a part of you also listening? I find myself, anyway, listening to how Howard conducts an interview, when he calms down, when he slows and lets somebody go, and when he, as you will say, Dan, is when he'll listen to something that has nothing to do with where he wants to go, but segue into it almost like they brought it up themselves.
Howard always says things about "Daddy love me," and I'm one of those guys. Like, so when I hear him talk and listen to the way he interviews people, I take that and say, like, how can I incorporate that into my life? So I'm listening to how he's explaining to people and getting these stories that maybe someone has held for so long, and finally they're opening up. And I use this same technique when I speak to women.